Game 3. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel the sweep coming in off the shore? Is there a storm brewing? Oh, is that the Hurricanes back for game 3? What chance do they have? I don't know. Oh, look, my microphone broke. Look. Woo! Okay, I'll fix it. Look, ready? Ready? Fixed. Hello, everybody. This series has not been close, not even a little bit. I'm going to fix that. There we go. Hasn't been close at all. And yet, here we are, all hanging out together. By the way, I spent today going over the ways that I think Carolina could win this game. And I think the answer is profound. Score more goals than the Panthers. Now, Pyotr Kochetkov is checking in because Freddie Anderson in the playoffs is either the best goalie in the world or he's unplayable. Now, I thought Carolina let him down in the first couple of games. I am not afraid to call out a goalie when they stink. I think there's a few goals that stunk on Freddie. Let's be straight. But I really think, if we're being honest, Carolina Hurricanes have just stunk, right? And I feel like if they don't score early tonight, this could be bad. This could be bad. Now, Panthers are at home. They've got 2 wins. They are without Sam Reinhart, who I don't know if we haven't really gotten much in the way of health updates there, and I don't think we will. But if Sam Reinhart plays again in these playoffs, I'll be pleasantly surprised. Guys, the Florida Panthers are at home. They're up 2-0, and they're the Florida Panthers. They're not the team that sits back and lets you come to them. This is the team that is like, okay, this is our chance. We're going to kill them now. Are the Canes going to let that happen? Kind of feels like they might. Feels like they might not have a chance or a choice. I have to be honest. If there are Canes fans in the chat, what I need to know from you is, if it's going to happen tonight, who's the big goal scorer? What's the big play? Who are you relying on to win this game? Why not? Hayden, what? What's the Panthers' superpower that they can't use tonight? Being on the road. Oh, they'll be fun. I know that they've won like every game on the road, but I feel like they're going to be okay. Now, so this is Walker during warm-up. So Walker's out too? Nikishin's in, or Nikishin, depending upon how you. So this will be an interesting one then. Sean Walker is obviously a great NHL defenseman. Alexander Nikishin, or Nikishin, is there's Sam Reinhart. He's walking around like he's okay. All right. No brace on it. All right. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but no brace on it. Nikishin is going to be very interesting because this guy was like a monster in the KHL, and it's kind of unfair to throw him into this game, but like, what choice do you have? I think he had 150 points in like 200 games in the KHL as a defenseman. You have to remember, being a defenseman in the KHL, like a point a game player is almost impossible to be in the KHL. It's crazy. So here we go. All right, we got the the lineup is very interesting for Carolina tonight because the rest of it is essentially the same. There are no changes really in Rod Brandenmore's lineup, which I know drives some Carolina Hurricanes fans absolutely crazy. Like, I know some of you are like, can he just, please God, make an adjustment ever once in your life? Rod says no. We're just waiting for this anthem to play. Oh no, he's going to take forever. Supposed to be an 8:10 puck drop. It's already 8:10. Oh man, this is going to be longer. This is going to be longer than the Super Bowl. This anthem. Oh god. Oh god. Now Justin Fisher is joining us on the chat tonight. Hayden Matheson running the stream tonight. Gripper Nation. I hope you're ready to rock and roll. We're gonna have some fun time. We're gonna have some fun times. Oh, yeah. Jesperi Kotkaniemi has been moved up to the second line. That's interesting. He plays there. I know they moved him around a little bit. Jordan Stahl's an interesting one because tonight you need your vets to get set up and get ready. And I don't think he's been a good factor in this series, man. I think the Panthers have made him look really slow and old and slow and really old. And it doesn't matter how tall he is. He's old and slow. Super chat already? Oh, Canadian Girl 83 dropped 5 SDPN memberships. Sports Talk Chud says the strange case of Dr. Skinner and Mr. Stu. Yo, how about Stuart Skinner, man? Crazy. Vehicle says Oilers Panthers rematch seems inevitable. Does it? Oh my God. Listen. 5 minutes ago we started the anthem. Now we have finally finished it, and we will get a face-off in Sunrise, Florida. Joe saying, hello, Adam from Port St. Lucie, Florida. Good morning, or good afternoon, Joe. Good evening, I guess. All right. Let's get going. Let's bring the energy up. That sucked the energy out of the room. No disrespect to that artist, but holy God, we just want to watch some hockey. I don't care about you and your leather shirt. Let's get into it, baby. Let's get into it. Azuri Sky says, wow, you're like 3 minutes ahead, so I'm hitting pause on YouTube. Well, you can do that. That's the whole point. We align the stream. So what's going to happen here is we're going to get face-off, opening face-off. I'm going to clap, and you are going to get your stream aligned with my clap, and then be ready to go. Okay, you ready? Pretzel Hunt, no disrespect, but F your country's anthem. No, that's not what it is. I don't like any country's anthem. I'm sick of national anthems. Boom. I am done with national anthems before sporting events. There, I said it. Justin Fisher says, bold thing for someone with leather pants to say, hey, I had leather pants. I no longer do, but let me tell you something. I never had a leather shirt. Maybe I should have. How long before someone takes a run at Aho, asked Hayden, who Aho was the one that hit Reinhart. I think the Panthers are like, you know what? Let's just get this done. And Seth Jones almost scored right there. And I think Sam Bennett might. Oh, baby. Kachekov with a good save. Hey, at least you can rely on him for one. Adam Naxiro, rank your top 3 Adams, excluding us. Or Nakliro. Top 3 Adams. Adam. Oh, here we go. Logan Stankoven's got a little bit of a break. Shot. Oh, it goes by Bobrovsky. Drops it on his glove, but nobody there on the rebound. Maybe skate a little harder than that, Carolina. Justin Fisher dropping 5 SDPN memberships. Adam, I'll get back to your ranking, but we're in the middle of play right now. And there's been, will there be a power play? No, Panthers fans want one. Not that they haven't done that to 40 million other teams. Oh, by the way, everybody, Hayden makes a great point. It's a Wes McCall game. Woo! We're going to get some funsy-bunsy calls. Maybe some no calls at all because that's more of a Wes McCauley game. Adam Niclero says, rank your top 3 Adams, excluding us. Okay, so first one. So at number 3, Adam from the Garden of Eden. Seemed like a rad dude. Walked around naked a whole bunch. Bit of a hippie. Did kind of screw us out of that real estate, though. That kind of stinks. Let's say I've got Adam. Was it Adam Smith? Who was the guy that was the original Batman? He was Adam West. That's it. Adam West at number 2. That's a pretty good Adam. He was a Batman. I mean, he's the original Batman. His name's Adam. He's also a great character in Family Guy, Hayden says, and he's right. So I think Adam West for sure. And the top one that I have Hang on. Uh, uh, the Here it is. I don't know why I couldn't remember his name before. Adam Driver, also known as Kylo Ren. By the way, I've been watching Star Wars all weekend because we finished Andor. So then we watched Rogue One last night. My wife's like, it's been a long time since I've seen the original Star Wars. So we're like, man, why don't we just jump right into A New Hope? And I got halfway through Empire Strikes Back before I came to see you today. It's been a good weekend. Pretty hot, pretty sexy. What can I tell you? I'm a bit of a dream date. All right, kids. Sports talk chud. Paul Maurice, finger signs for the refs. Yeah, maybe. Possibly. 17:25 in the first period. Well, you know what? The great thing for the Carolina Hurricanes is they're currently outshooting the Florida Panthers, and they have not allowed a goal yet. Both things that were untrue at this point last game. Kachekov did have to make like a bit of a garbage dump save. Oh, Marchand's talking to somebody, and of course they cut away. Why look at that? Oh, Schmidt gets... Man, Jackson Blake's really good, eh? He's sneaky. Kotkaniemi with an absolute muffin at Bob, but hey, that's fine. It's something. All right, here we go. Boom. Oh, I wanted it to be a clap. 17:08. Jordan Stahl gets kicked out. Jordan Martinook is in. Boom. And it looks like he lost it, but Carolina gets possession. Jordan Stahl, the guy I said might need to show up tonight. He is the captain, and he's big. So far for nothing. This is the greatest test Carolina has faced in these playoffs. New Jersey was not ready for them. Washington was not ready for them. Florida was all the way ready for them. Adam Foote getting snubbed by the Gripper Czar, says Adam Niclero. Listen, he never played for the Leafs. He can't be one of my top three. Not possible. I wonder who the greatest Adam to play for the Toronto Maple Leafs was. Who's the highest scoring Adam for the Toronto Maple Leafs? Do we know? What's the trivia question, Hayden? Hayden says Jackson Blake's father, Jason Blake, highest scoring single season, like in terms of goals or points? Points? I'm going to say like 76 because I know he had 40 goals with the Islanders before the Leafs signed him. So he had 69 points was his highest, and he had 40 goals. But 40 goals was really rare back then. 40 goals, like in that era, it's like, whoa, what? How? Didn't have another season over 28. And the Leafs, I think, paid him, was it $4 million a year, which is like the equivalent of like $10 million now. The cap was so low. Oh, what a save! Kachekov with a great save. 15:57. Florida pressuring. This Sam Bennett line has been such a problem for Carolina. And honestly, I thought it was a line that they'd be able to handle. But like for us, it was, or for the Leafs, it was Barkov's line and then Luosterainen's line. And I call it Luosterainen's line because he's the third best player on it, but he's got the coolest name. Those Finnish names, man, they're cool. Lindell, Luosterainen, Marchand. That was a real problem for the Leafs. For Carolina, like, I know Matt Tkachuk basically beat them on his own last time, but Matt Tkachuk is, like, immobile, and yet here he is with Sam Bennett just rocking people. Carter Verhaeghe had 2 goals last game. Sam Bennett had 2 goals. By the way, Sam Bennett's got 9 goals in these playoffs, guys. 9! And how many are on the road? 8! He's a road warrior. Does that mean he doesn't score tonight? I don't know. 15:33 left in the first period. Mikkola gets the puck in. Skates it in, that is. Throw it on net. Kachekov with the save. I think Kachekov's got some confidence here. He's looking pretty strong. Hayden says he has found some Adams that played for the Leafs, but it's not great. Who is the leading Adam in terms of total points in their career as a Leaf? Adam Gaudette or Adam Brooks? Recent Adams. I thought we'd have at least like a 1930s Adam or something. Who's got the most points, Gaudette or Brooks? All right. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Not a lot of great Adams playing for the Leafs. This is the Luce Ryan and Marchand Lundell line. Canadian Girl 83, coffee for Hayden, Justin, and Adams starting late tonight. And the fact that you gentlemen are hysterical. Well, thank you, Canadian Girl 83. I don't know how much we send you into hysterics, but I'm so glad you're here. By the way, I need to know, is Jose Pantalone here? Where's Jose Pantalone? I need to see him. And Cat the Cats fan, are they here? Well, first off, do we have Canes fans in the chat? Do we have Panthers fans in the chat? There were Panthers fans mad at me last time because I wasn't pro Panthers enough. And then I got a message from a Canes fan who was like, hey, can you take it easy on the Canes? You're a little biased towards the Panthers. And I was like, well, that means I think I'm doing my job. Both sides are mad. Where is Joey Pants? Is Joey Pants not here? How is Joey Pants not here? His Cats are playing. So there's Intermission out there with Orlov. So we'll kind of watch to see how he does. Oh, Stahl with this. Hey, Stahl's had a pretty good start. Little forecheck there, little scoring. That's the guy they need to do better. Carolina is going to get favorable matchups tonight. Although, looking at the rosters, I'm not sure what kind of favorable matchup they could have. Karan says, Adam, I think you're too biased towards the linesman in this game. Oh, wait. So you want me to be harder on linesmen? I can do that. I can make that happen. Everblade says, be pro Panther. Adam Gaudette was a Leaf, says Sedin Magic 15. I totally forgot that. We did too. He was like in that last, I think he was in that last like Dubas era. Dubas would always bring like, here's 5 guys that didn't make it anywhere else, but have potentially high skill things. It made sense in a way. In a way. Gaudette's still in the league, isn't he? Adam Gaudette. Yeah, he's with the Sens. And he's been good. 30 points this year, or 26. That's pretty good. Highest scoring Leaf Adam. All right, let's go. Adam Mayer. I remember Adam Mayer. "24 games played for the Leafs, 3 points. That is the highest scoring Adam in Leafs history. We can do better. We can do better. Is Costco Gravy Guy here? I don't think Costco Gravy Guy never comes to these streams, and I'm mad at him for it. I'm going to tell Steve, I'm going to be like, yo, how come it's just you? What's up with that? Graham Renfro, man, I've been in Dublin for the past 2 weeks, and I was unable to watch Canes hockey until tonight, but the series flips with me back, Holmes. All right, Graham, we'll see, because I'm not going to lie, buddy, it's been pretty rough. It's hard for any of us to really see how that happens, but we are going to wish you the best. Benjamin Johnson wants to know, who's the best Steve on the Leafs in Leafs history? I'm going to go with Steve Thomas. I think Steve Thomas was likely the greatest Steve that has ever played for the Leafs. Hayden, do you think we can look that up? Steves who played for the Leafs. Pyotr Kochetkov is about to pull a 2006 Cam Ward. Man, 2006 Cam Ward got Cam. Oh! Kochetkov with a save on Verhaeghe. Another shot from Bennett. Oh, man, they're going to show a replay of this. Kochetkov was completely out of position, and Verhaeghe was going to score. You knew, he felt it. Oh, woo! People are saying, what about Steven Lorentz? Wow. All right. Pyotr's, maybe they should have started him earlier. Damn, dude, that was great. We love some chaos goaltending. Meme Empress, you're right. Oh, here come the Panthers. Kochetkov just drew a penalty created one, because he took out Evan Rodriguez right at the knees. This is a bad turnover, that leads to a bad power slide by the goalie. Why? Okay, watch how far Kachekov's going to get out of his net. First off, what a save on Berhage. What? How did he do that with his stick? Unbelievable. Look at that. Holy. That should be in. And then so the puck goes off of Seth Jarvis's face, which apparently doesn't feel good. And then Evan Rodriguez, oh, 2 for embellishment, you think, Hayden? It is Rodriguez. And Rodriguez is underrated in terms of his embellishment, as in he's really good at it, and the refs never seem to get it. Other than Steve Thomas, there's Steve Sullivan. Yeah. Steve Thomas is the best Steve Leaf. I wonder if there's a Jesse Leafs. I don't remember a Jesse Leafs. A Jesse player that played for the Leafs. Lee asks a good question. What's wrong with the Panthers? They haven't scored yet. I think Pyotr Kochekov is a bit of a problem for them. Katie Faye says, Feral goalies are so fun. They are. They're insane. Ekblad with a shot. Tkachuk gets the puck back a little too hard. Throws it right past Seth Jones. Seth Jones regroups. 1:25 left on this Panthers power play. Barkov takes the puck across center, skates it, and Tkachuk is offside. All right. There has never been a Leaf named Jesse, says Hayden Matheson. Never once. Damn. Kids, you got to start naming. Parents, you got to start naming your kids Jesse. We got to get one on the Leafs. All right, here we go. Panthers, 1:17 left. And Canes are able to throw that puck down. The one thing the Canes can rely on is they're pretty good on the PK, except that the Panthers have kind of had their number in this series, so maybe not. It's only 2 games, though. The Leafs were up 2-0 in their series with the Panthers at this point. Ha ha ha. Ekblad. Jones. Down to Tkachuk. Back to Jones. Jones has got Barkov open. He's got Tkachuk. They're rotating. Jones shoots. It goes off a leg. Tkachuk's going to shoot. And Kochekov makes that save. Barkov ties up a stick. Ekblad's able to keep that puck in. Down low. Back out to Seth Jones. To Barkov. To Tkachuk. To Rodriguez. He doesn't dive this time. He passes it in deep. Nothing going on. In the corner. Yeah, no, not a whole lot of great opportunities here on that one. Panthers are threatening, though. If there's been a team that's got more chances, it's the Panthers. 10 seconds to go here. Florida already with 5 shots at this point. I think they had 2 goals last game. They had a goal basically every 4 shots for the first 2 periods, which was, from what I understand, bad. Bennett. Marchand. Whoa! Svetch. Nikishin. Jackson Blake behind the net. Nikishin is down low. Still has not got back out to the point. He might want to do that in Rod Brendamore's system. Listen, you can pinch in Rod Brendamore's system, but you can't pinch that long. By the way, Nikishin is also huge. It's helpful if you're the Carolina Hurricanes. And you're not actually that big. Luostarinen. Kind of a back and forth here. Lindell is out there. Boquist. Luostarinen. Lindell. Puck battling along the boards. 9:21 left in the first period. Lindell kind of threw it through the crease. Nobody there. Going for a change are the Florida Panthers. 9:12 left in the first. Kochekov handles the puck. Lindell all over him. Fourth line on for the Florida Panthers, and don't let that fool you. They've scored a bunch of goals. Just ask Leaf fans. Oh, Jackson Blake, I think, got hit in the, or was Morrow that got hit in the face with something. And then he gets cross-checked by, I'm pretty sure, Jonah Gadjevich. A little salt in the wound. All right. What do we got? What do we got? Adam Nasirlio. Any good history shows or movies you've seen lately? No, actually. I've been reading. I've been reading lots of books though. I can. Let's see what I got here. See what I got here that you might want to check out. If you do the audiobook thing, you should do it. Which, if you don't, you should. It's the best. The last history book. Oh, you know what I read? I don't know if you guys care, but Live from New York, it's the complete uncensored history of Saturday Night Live. I basically listened to that the entire first and second round, heading down to Maple Leaf Square to do all that stuff. And so I would park a couple blocks away and I'd walk in, and it was really cool. The history of that show is amazing. It's really, really cool. Whether you like the show or you don't like the show, I happen to really like the show. It comes in cycles, right? Um, I think I think you'll like it. I think you'll really like that one. You should check that out. Sports Talk Chud says books in 2025. I mean, man, audiobooks in 2025. That's where it's at. I like a good audiobook, especially when it's well read. It's a good one is Harry Potter, because the guy actually does some voices and stuff too. I think you'd really like it. Steve listens to Harry Potter on audiobook, like the series, at least once every 2 years. When I knew Steve and we started the show, he'd never ever read Harry Potter. And then he downloaded the audiobooks. I'm like, trust me, you'll love it. And lo and behold, lo and behold. Liv Rue says the guy for Harry Potter is the best. He is great. He is great. Taro says no audiobooks for me. I want real books. You know what's hilarious is they've done a bunch of studies on that, and they have found that audiobook retention might even be better than reading it. Whoa, how do you feel now? Just saying. For me, honestly, it's all in how you learn. Some people are audio learners, some people are visual learners, some people are like the hands-on. I think those are the three learning thing. Anyway, I'm an audio learner for sure. Why do you think I got into audio for a living? I was obsessed with the radio. I was obsessed with what the announcers were saying. Kind of makes sense, right? Oh, Nikishin. So they're calling him Nikishin. I thought it was Nikishin, but it's Nikishin. Nikishin with a nice little play there. You're gonna like this guy. Gadjevich is yelling at him for shooting the puck after the whistle. But what's hilarious about that is he didn't know there was going to be a whistle. And also, he's Russian and probably can't really understand what the hell they're saying anyway. Aiden asked if my mom was on the radio growing up. Yes, my mom was on the radio before I was born here. Oh, yeah. No, she started her current show in 1986. She's been on the same show for almost 40 years. So, yeah. Isn't that wild? All right. Nikishin, puck up. Florida Panthers have not done something that they've done in every game this series, and that's score in the first 10 minutes, and there it is. They score. Right in the middle of the sentence. They score. And it's such a Florida Panthers ass goal, too. Just a nothing play across the blue line. You know what I'm going to do with it? You know what I'm going to do? My name's Nico Mikula, and I'm just going to drive the net. Like, are you kidding me? And Carolina just lets them. Watch this. Rodriguez, Barkov, and look, I'm just going to go to the net. Oh, and it goes off of Orlov and in. Oh, that sucks. Would have been Barkov's goal anyway. Yeah. Just these guys, though, like, no one touches them. I have to be honest. Like, I feel bad for Orlov. That's just bad luck. But when you look at how Carolina allows Florida in, there's no pushback on these guys. And, like, I hate to use this word, but they're a bit you got to be rough on the Florida Panthers. And these guys don't. Do they look rough to you? They look soft. That's rough. Hayden says, would Washington have fared better against the Panthers? Man, I don't know, man. South Catchy Rob, I know that guy, dropping 10 SDPN memberships. Man, so Alan and I talked about in our podcast, which came out today, about a couple of things. First off, we talked about how Brandon Hagel and Marc-Andre Fleury were almost traded to the Leafs for Matthew Nyes by the Chicago Blackhawks a few years ago. Brandon Hagel, instead of being traded to the Leafs because Leafs management, a.k.a. Brendan Shanahan, said, no, we're not going to do that trade. Tampa then traded for him, and then he ate the Leafs alive that spring when the Leafs in Tampa played in 2022. Ate them alive. And, hey, by the way, he's going to be an Olympian, so that's cool. But there was some debate about, what I talked about on Monday about the story being true or whatever. So I just asked Alan to tell it, and he did. So you might want to check that out. But one of the things he's talking about is playoff seeding, one of the other topics we had. And what was crazy about it was Alan is like obviously a big proponent of going back to 1-8, 1-8, 2-7, 3-6, 4-5. This matchup, by the way, between the Florida Panthers and the Carolina Hurricanes under that system, which is the original system, this would have been a first-round matchup. And by the way, that's what it looks like. Oh, big hit from behind there. Almost a boarding call. I think the refs are going to let that go. JWT6577, Florida isn't just beating teams, they're ruining their organizations. It's true. Like, people are having to adjust to what the Florida Panthers are doing. And by the way, another team that did this? The Boston Bruins. 2011 Boston Bruins snapped the Vancouver Canucks organization in half. And a few other ones too. And by the way, that Bruins team probably should have won more championships, but like the core five of the Chicago Blackhawks plus those LA Kings teams were just kind of too much. The Bruins with that era should have probably won more cups. Sports Talk Chud, Canes need to drop the gloves, have balls for once. The Canes don't have anyone who can do that, though. Why don't you send in Jackson Blake? He's 5'8", or Logan Stankoven. He's 5'8". Like, these, you can have a guy or two like that in your lineup, and Carolina does, but you need to have some guys who are absolutely monster big, who are just huge. Oh, turnover. Rodriguez caused it. Oh, Orlov's able to get that puck back. Jackson Blake through center. And that puck is immediately turned over to the... Watch the Florida Panthers. Every time Carolina Hurricanes have brought it in, except for this time, actually, the Florida Panthers have done a really great job of poke checking, getting their stick on the puck, and as soon as they get it, boom, it's out. Now, this Jackson Blake line, I have to give him some credit. They've been pretty good. Sedin Magic 15, my grandmother who passed a few years ago watched your mom on CTV. She watched every morning. It was part of her routine. Well, that's lovely. I will pass that along. That's very, very cool. Thank you for saying that. I'm happy to hear that. We watch TV so differently now than we did. It used to be like, well, if I don't tune in at 10 o'clock, it's not going to be on and I'm going to miss it. Now it's like, well, I'll just watch whenever the hell I want. It's kind of crazy how that's shifted. Hayden says he heard my mom's voice every day. Me too, Hayden. Me too. Decidedly less cheery sometimes. Mostly when I didn't do my, pick up my shit. Rory says Gary is allowing the Panthers to use God mode. I don't know. I think the Panthers are just a well-built team. I had some conversations with some people, and the Leafs are going to be letting probably some people go here, and that's always sad when people lose their job. And another play there by that Kachuk line, they're a problem. Carolina can't handle these guys. Cannot handle them. And Carolina Panthers, the Florida Panthers were called the computer boys for a long time. Like, they were called look at these nerds. Those nerds over the past 6-7 years have slowly but surely, brick by brick, put together a really good hockey team. And they didn't focus on what the Leafs did. Like, the Leafs focused on, like, how do we revolutionize the way that hockey is played? And, we all bought it because that's exciting. Ooh, revolutionize. Ooh, in the age of tech. That's crazy and cool. So they tried to do that. And then they realized that when they got to the playoffs, they weren't going to get any power plays. So they made zero attempt to change the DNA of the team. And they focused, I think, a little too much on the revolutionary part. What the Florida Panthers did is they're like, how do we find good players? How do we find cast off players, players for cheap? Like, didn't they get Sam Bennett for like a first or a second or something like that? They got Gus Forsling for what? What did they get him for? Oh yeah, that's right. He was waived by the Carolina Hurricanes. Nico Mikkola. He was a St. Louis. Nico Mikkola, 2015 fifth round pick, 127th overall by the St. Louis Blues. You have to find good players. Anton Lundell. Let's say Anton. Oh, by the way, Luosterainen came to Florida in the Vinny Trocheck trade. Remember, Vinny Trocheck was a Carolina Hurricane before he became a Ranger. Anton Lundell, drafted by the Panthers, 12th pick, 2020 draft. And then they trade a second or a third for Marchand. Oh, now it's a first because they made the conference final. Worth it. All worth it. That's how you trade. That's how you do it. So the Bennett trade was Bennett and a 6th round pick for Emil Heineman and a 2nd round pick. Are you kidding me? This guy's going to make $10 million. And I actually, by the way, I know TSN had that thing up about like that graphic up. I was like, well, could Sam Bennett make $10 million this year in free agency? And then everybody's like, yeah, but his agent really knows Dreger well and blah, blah, blah. Yo, Dregs is right. I think Sam Bennett's easily going to make $10 million. That's my guess. Maybe if he wants to stay with Florida, he's not going to make $10 million. If he's leaving and he's going for the $80 million contract, he can get it. Every team in the NHL has money to spend this offseason. Every team. And there's like 2 good centers. It's like him and Brock Nelson. Those guys became free agents on the right year. It's nuts. They're going to make crazy money. Now, Brock Nelson, former 40-goal scorer. He might be worth a lot of money as a center. Depends on what kind of game you want to play. I think Colorado desperately wants to re-sign him. But, Joe Sakic doesn't want to play. Oh, big hit by Orlov on Mikkola. Another hit. Mikkola just pops back up. Mikkola's going to try to hit Orlov now. Watch. He tried. 3:17 left in the first. Yeah, the thing about Brock Nelson is if he doesn't go to free agency, he's crazy. Like, I know Colorado's got a really good chance to win, and it depends on what you want in your life and whatever. And, like, you get to play with Nathan McKinnon. But Joe Sakic is going to do everything he can to keep that guy, but keep him at, like, 7.5 or 8. He doesn't want to pay the third guy that much money. If he did, he would have paid Mikko Rantanen, right? All the World's a Stage says, yeah, and you know what, Mr. Adam Wylde? You know that Dallas can offer Marner a contract. Not only can they offer him a contract, they can offer him a tax-free state. Apparently, the Panthers and Lightning are interested. The Panthers for sure are interested. Dallas is interested. Vegas is interested. Utah could really use Mitch Marner. And you know what's crazy about Utah? Let me just pull up their lineup for a second here. So Utah's got a really underrated second line with Barrett Hayton and Nick Schmaltz. And those guys are really young. Well, Schmaltz is a little bit older. But their right winger is Kailer Yamamoto. And no disrespect to Kailer Yamamoto, but that ain't it. You put Marner next to Hayton and Schmaltz, who both had 20-goal seasons last year. They're both going to have 30-goal seasons. And then you put them behind. Oh boy, we got a player down behind the net. This is bad. He's in a lot of pain. Carolina's pissed. Ref asking them not to do anything. At Luosterainen looks like he got him. There's been a lot of these. Oh, and it's Jackson Blake. He's been having such a great game. Like, he's been on everywhere. Now, the thing is, we've seen a lot of almost boarding plays in this game. And the refs tend to only call it in these types of games, especially a Wes McCauley game where there's a player actually injured. because that might actually receive national media attention if he doesn't. Yeah, I said it. I'm not a Wes McCauley guy. But they have missed 2 or 3 absolutely boarding calls. Oh my god, look at his face. So the visor got him. So what happens here is Blake is in transition, and this is what Luostarinen does. Bang. That's a freaking horrible hit. That's a horrible hit. That's head first. You should be out of the game for that. He should be absolutely out of the game for that. And by the way, Jackson Blake should be checking with the concussion spotters. Luostarinen should not play another shift. That's a fucking dangerous hit. I'm sorry. That's really bad. And by the way, this is what happens when you don't call certain things. Like, I get that you don't want to call every roughing call. I get that you don't want to call any hooking call. But how many times already in this game have we seen a hit just like this? There's been 2 or 3, and they've gone both ways, and the refs are just not calling them. And then Luostarinen's like, you know what? And they're explaining this away on the broadcast a little bit, like, well, it's how the Panthers are wired. I think the Panthers are pretty good hockey players, and pretty good hockey players know when not to do that. Yeah, he's out. He's out. That's intent to injure. Goodbye. Yeah, 5-minute power play for the Carolina Hurricanes. This could be major for their series. Yeah, 5 in a game for boarding. No friggin' kidding. Now, the question will be, will NHL player safety hand him another game? This counts as a suspended game, but every day, all week long, you need to be calling boarding calls because they're friggin' dangerous, man. That's brutal. That's a terrible play by a guy who's having a great series in Luostarinen. Canadian Girl 83, if Marner leaves, can he please go to the Western Conference? I think he might want to stay East Coast. Remember, he just had a kid. Grandparents are nearby. Matherman, I live near Detroit. Sports radio keeps talking about going after Marner, but Stevie Y isn't the type to make such a move. He'd have to overpay. Listen, you should go after him if you're Detroit. But Mitch Marner's going to want to go to a place where he can win. Unless he wants to go to Chicago and make all the money. The question for him is going to be, do you want $14 or $15 million, or do you want a team that can win in the next decade? And Detroit, unfortunately, in my opinion, I don't know whether they should tear it down or try harder, but whatever it is they're doing right now is bad. And I think that front office suffers from a little bit of paralysis. They're like paralysis, excuse me. Like they're so afraid to make a call now. I don't know. There's something weird about what's going on in Detroit. I don't understand it. Sedin Magic 15. Canes have to take advantage of this. Yes, they do. They've got to score, and they've got to score twice. I'm not kidding. You think I'm crazy? You got to score now, and you got to score again at the beginning of the second period. You need to get ahead. Florida's already 1 goal up. You got a 5-minute penalty. Take advantage and forecheck the crap out of the Panthers. So then you draw another penalty. Jarvis and Mikkola have been going at it a few times. Panthers PK has been outstanding in these playoffs, especially against the Leafs and Canes. You look at where Nosek is right there, even just begging the Carolina Hurricanes to make a play. They push you and push you and push you to make a play. They are in your shit all the time. Cody says, if you intentionally injure a player, you should be suspended as long as that player is out. Hard to argue with the intent, though. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like you can't ever tell intent unless you really can tell. Like unless you're like it's like a Raffi Torres play. Intent matters, and it's hard to judge. And remember, we train hockey players, we train all athletes we train them to be on the very edge of physicality and of competitiveness. That's what it takes to win. So sometimes these plays happen. Hockey will always be a violent game because that's how we're all trained to be, and that's what makes hockey so exciting. So I don't know if you can ever train that out. I don't think that ever goes away. 1:13 left in the first period. Hawks 23. Marner is probably going to a place where he can win. Me, like, yeah, Seattle, we can win like 30 games. Yeah, I think Marner's probably going to want to win because he's probably going to want to stick it to us, big, meaning Toronto media, and go, see, I can do it. It's all your fault. Maybe he's right. Hayden says the best way to describe it is they're always hitting to hurt each other, never hitting to injure each other. I think that's a really fair way to put it. You hit to hurt, but you don't want like a guy actually injured. You just want him bruised. All the world's a stage. Marner isn't leaving the Toronto Maple Leafs. Please stop. Yes, he is. He's very much gone. As of today, he's gone. But people can have changes of heart. People going Marner to the Penguins. Dubas loves his guys. Man, that's enticing, right? Hey, you can play with Sidney Crosby, Mitch. And you might even get into the wild card, too. That's the one thing. If the Panthers or the Penguins had done a better job not signing horrific contracts, they probably could sign Marner and get him to come. He just needed to, make the playoffs. Mikkola just grabbed. Mikkola grabs Svechnikov by the throat, and then Svechnikov gets a little slash in there on Mikkola afterwards. He actually went up and grabbed his throat. Did you guys see that? Man, the Florida penalty kill shut anything that the Hurricanes had down. Shut them down. Nothing there. McDavid deserves better, says the Panthers are more toxic than Steve Simmons, Eric Francis, Larry Brooks, and Mark Spector combined. They can't keep getting away with this. Well, I mean, they did get away. As an Oilers fan, I'm sure that you would prefer that Carolina wins this series. I don't think that's going to happen. Giggling Cat. Cat, the Cats fan from Game 3. Hi, chat. Click like. What's up, Cat, the Cats fan? So I was expecting to see Cat, the Cats fan. We do not have Joey Pants, a.k.a. Jose Pantalone. I don't know where he is. Just maybe he's out doing stuff on a Saturday night. Some fan you are, Joey Pants. Some fan. Steven Schiller, Marner to Minnesota. We'll take him away from you. Here's the thing with Minnesota. First, you got to focus on Kaprizov. Get that deal done. Right? And I think the one thing I'd say with the Minnesota Wild, who have the most money to spend of any team this offseason, I don't think, and Hayden, back me up on this one if you think I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't think Ryan Hartman is your long-term solution at 2C. Am I right? Ryan Hartman. Hayden goes, F, I hope not. Like, who else do you have? Let's go to Puckpedia. Let's find out. Minnesota Wild. Let's do this. I love a rabbit hole. Yeah, Hayden makes a good point. He's like, we've already got the most skilled winger in the NHL. We don't need Marner. I think you're also Kaprizov's going to make like $15 million a year. Hayden just said Marner is bargain bin Kaprizov. Now, yeah, I think where the Wild really need to spend some money is at center. If you could be like, hey, Sam Bennett, want to make an obnoxious amount of money, he would sure look good there. Mike Fami. Mike is SDP VIP. Welcome to SDP VIP, Mike. Jared said, looked unfortunate rather than dirty. Well, I think, Jared, unfortunately, I think Luostarinen knew exactly what he was doing. That is again, Steve always says it perfectly. There's a lot of, oops. Oh, that was so accidental from the Panthers. I think they do hit to hurt. I don't think they hit to injure. I don't think he wanted to kill Jackson Blake, as what I'm sure people are getting hysterical online about it. But like the Panthers do this. This is what they do. There's a lot of headshots in Pantherland. Don't believe me? Look at what Sam Bennett did to Brad Marchand last year in the playoffs, in the second round. You think the butt end of his stick just found Brad Marchand because it was magnetized? I mean, it's a big nose, but it's not that big. This is what they do. And it works for them. League keeps allowing it to work, so it works. And by the way, you know who created this? The Panthers are just this generation's version of what the Bruins were from 2011 to 2023. That's for 12 years, maybe even before that. The Bruins just ran wild on the league. Again, they should have won more cups. They had it hacked. Hawks 23, Marner to SDPN, book it. I don't think he would be into that. Steven Schiller says, if Sam Bennett signs with Minnesota, I'm turning Leafs fan full time. No, thank you. Well, man, how could a guy who's a fan of a team with Ryan Hartman object to Sam Bennett? Yeah, put Hartman and Bennett on a line together. Scary. Okay, Hayden, what kind of clip do we have to run for intermission, my friend? Oh, it's a clip of us talking about if letting Brendan Shanahan go was the right choice. Because I'm sure as Canes fans and Panthers fans, you want to drink in the Leafs' tears. And here you go, an entire segment on it. I'll see you at the beginning of the second period.
You forget how long Shanahan's been here. He was hired to the Leafs a month after I moved to Oshawa.
And he extended Randy Carlyle. People forget that.
That was like one of the first things he did, and he almost extended Dave Bolland. I've heard he was very close there, and he wanted him bad. And that contract was...
In that case, the Panthers saved us.
Yes, in that case. And they said, don't worry, that bill's going to come due. And it certainly has. He did a lot of good things. There's a reason why we were all thumping, for the Shanna plan.
Brought respectability back.
Yes.
Remember he suspended Nazem Kadri for showing up late to practice? Like, there's going to be standards here.
Yeah, and even if that wasn't directly his decision, he brought in Mike Babcock when he was hired. Like, obviously he's persona non grata now, but when he was hired, that was fortune beyond any Leaf fan's wildest dreams. Lou Lamoriello joining the Toronto Maple Leafs still seems like a fever dream.
I remember getting the notification on my phone and going, what?
I was on the train. I was on the train heading to Smashfest, the table tennis tournament.
Dominic Moore's table tennis tournament? Yeah.
Dominic Moore's thing. And there's a ton of hockey media that go to that every year, and we're all just looking at each other like, what the fuck? Lou Lamoriello's the Leafs GM? What the fuck is this? Like, I found out he was Leafs GM before I found out he quit the Devils.
Yeah.
Like, that all happened very fast. Shanahan got so much stuff done. It was impossible to not think of him as the guy. And what buried him was this team that he built, and this team that he was confident in, and this team that a lot of people were confident in. As people lost confidence in the team, in the core, and as circumstances changed, the world stopped, the cap stopped going up, he and everyone he employed and was the superior of refused to change. You had so many different opportunities to try to move off of this core, and they wouldn't do it, and they're going to grow into it. And people had the audacity to be like, well, Yzerman didn't win until X year or whatever year.
Almost became a senator.
Yeah, like trying to trick us into the idea that those Red Wings were anything like these Leafs.
I bought that.
Yeah,
I bought that.
We did
I thought
for a
CJ,
while.
CJ on this Chris Johnson show did a fantastic job spelling out like his Brendan Shanahan's thinking behind those Detroit Red Wings, and how the Toronto Maple Leafs of 2025, the reason that they're unsuccessful right now is because of the 96-97 Detroit Red Wings.
Yeah.
Where Brendan Shanahan was on that team in that organization, and Steve Yzerman was drafted in 85, 86.
Yep.
And they didn't win the cup. Might
have been even before that.
Drafted before that, played his rookie season in 85, 86. So we're talking about his rookie season to when they win the cup in 96, 97. That's a long time to keep believing in the core.
He was drafted in 1983.
Yeah, and his rookie season's 84, 88.
No, it was 83, 84.
83, 84, okay.
With Detroit, 39 goals, 87 points.
So the Detroit Red Wings say, we have this player, we have this nucleus of guys, we're going to keep running it back until it works. And Brendan Shanahan lived through that and was like, you can't just give up on talented players. And he saw Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner and William Nylander and John Tavares as the same nucleus as a championship team that they had in Detroit. And him living that experience and being successful is the reason he doesn't have a job today.
And the one thing, Jesse, I want to add to that, first off, Bars,
Second,
Yes.
what's interesting about that is he ignores the biggest part of what made those Detroit Red Wings successful.
No salary cap?
No, him. Detroit traded Paul Coffey, a young Keith Primo who hadn't performed in the playoffs.
Wasn't he like a first overall pick?
And a first-round pick to the Hartford Whalers for Shanny and a guy named Brian Glynn. Probably a distant relative.
Brian Glenn. I'm still trying to find a Brian Glenn jersey.
Paul Coffey, Hall of Fame defenseman, was still performing at that point. He'd also won 2 cups. He won 4 with Edmonton, 4 or 5 with Edmonton, and then
was
2
Paul
more.
Coffey.
2 more with the Pittsburgh Penguins, right? Keith Primo was their young stud centerman who was a monster and a first-round pick, guys. And they bring in Shanny. That's trading from the core. And he ignored that part of it. And that's the part where, and I got to give Anthony Petrelli a huge shout. He did a killer article yesterday, and he talked about in it, he's like, Shanahan came in.
He does very good work.
And was this cutting-edge guy, willing to try things, take chances on young guys like Dubas. All right, this hasn't worked. We got to try something new. And then when he says, or was it Down Goes Brown that wrote this? Both of them had great articles yesterday. And basically what I think Down Goes Brown said was at the back half, so the first 5 or 6 years, he's cutting edge. He's willing to take risks. The second 5 or 6 years, he becomes the antithesis of what he was when he came in. He was afraid to make moves. He was afraid to fire Keefe after the Montreal series. He was afraid to trade off the roster after the Montreal series. That series, in retrospect, should have been a bigger than we gave it credit for.
If
that's
it's not
such a-
that one, it's the next year with Tampa.
That's such a good point because we forget that Brendan Shanahan was the president of the front office that was regarded as a bunch of calculator boys.
Yes.
He was not the old guard that was just like, we got to tough out this hockey and do everything. He went away against the grain in every regard and built his front office with a capologist in Pregame who built the CBA.
It was a great mix.
And then brought in Dubas who had no
And
experience
Hunter.
but was like a smart nerd.
Yeah.
And Brendan Shanahan built that, and that was his first half of his tenure, and then the back half is just unsuccessful hockey.
And not only that, Jesse, before that, he revolutionized NHL player safety. He brought videos. Remember? Videos and social media. Oh, my God.
He was probably the last guy who was any good at that job.
I agree with that completely.
He was criticized for suspending guys too much. And so you roll it back, and now it's just, I don't know, whoever elbows the most people in the head wins. Like whoever concusses the most players wins.
Yep.
Every year.
So you look at on balance what he was able to do. And this is what I'll say in my video a little bit, but when he came in, we were begging for just give me a playoff game. Now we're begging for just give me a shot at the cup. So that bar has been lifted, but what was clear is they got to a certain point and he became, as we all do, afraid to lose it all. I don't want to make the mistake where we go for it and it turns out to be the wrong decision. It's easier to do nothing and hope. And that's where and Keith Pelly mentioned it, or it was mentioned to Keith Pelly, and he acknowledged it in the press conference today, where you get fans after this many years of this throwing beer and jerseys on the ice. And, we'll get to all that. But I think that is how his career needs to be viewed. It's the first half where he revolutionizes this team. That 100-year celebration was really special. Them making the playoffs that year was really special. And anybody who tells me, them making the playoffs that year really set them back, I'm like, you guys are wrong. What they did not do is they were not ruthless with their free agents who were walking. Your Gardners, your Van Riemsdykes, your Bozaks. You need
your Marners.
Well, your Marners.
Hyman.
You needed to trade off the roster. You needed to, hey, we got a year left with this guy. He's at the peak of his value. We're going to create this new phrase. It's called an own rental. And we're going to try to sell that, which if they had acknowledged, hey, listen, the first 2 or 3 years of these guys making the playoffs, it's house money, and they traded Van Riemsdyk and they traded Bozak with a year to go on their deals, they'd have had a lot more assets to work with.
But the underlying ethos of the regime, now that we have the ability to look back on it, is all of those guys you named and all of the big stars, they believe in their guys.
Yes.
It's not even just the Matthews and Marners and Nylanders. It's the JVR Bozaks and Hymans of the world where we're not going to trade them at the deadline because we want them for this last couple months of the season.
And the Hyman one is especially egregious. So, I'm going back. His last 3 seasons with the Leafs, 21 goals, 41 points in 71 games. then 21 goals, 16 assists, 37 points in just 51 games. So you're talking about a player that's probably like
He went from an 06 to an 08, 09 points per game.
it's like a 55, 60, 65 maybe point player. Then 15 goals, 18 assists, 33 points in 43 games. So now we're talking about like a 65, 70 point player. And he was rumored to be getting something in the 5 to 5.5 range. And the reason he's not still in Toronto is that was too rich for their blood.
Yeah.
Because they'd spent too much money already.
Now, at the time,
The cap was flat.
well, the cap was flat, and I'm not going to lie to you and like I was like, damn, that's a lot for Zach Hyman for this team. In retrospect, that was a perfectly reasonable contract for this player, but they couldn't afford it because they refused to move off of the big four dudes.
Jonas Siegel made a really good point about that too, and he put it in a perspective that I hadn't thought of, where Lou Lamoriello's ethos has always been, if you have time, use it. And so Mitch Marner's camp, and we knew this, they were willing to do 8/8 with a year to go, like pre-John Tavares, which would have seemed crazy at the time.
Yeah, on the OG contract.
Yes, on the OG. So when he was after the second year of his ELC, if the Leafs had gone 8 times 8 with him, they would have signed. So instead of an $11 million player, you got an $8 million player. Contract would have expired a year ago, but
it would
all
have
the same,
completely changed how
everything went.
Everything
And you
went.
wouldn't have the negotiating through the media thing.
Nope.
And then
Hyman would still be a Leaf.
also they don't have Matthews done, and they also don't have Nylander done.
Right.
And so they go and they sign Tavares the same summer they got to get Nylander done. And Shanny comes out and he goes, well, we all had to accept less in Detroit. No, you didn't. You had no salary cap. But we accepted less to play together. Okay.
Sorry, listen, coming out of the 04-05 lockout, everyone who wasn't me had to accept less.
Yeah. That's essentially what happened.
Well,
Yeah.
Also, what did Shanahan do during that? What was it, 94 lockout?
No, it was the 04 lockout. He crossed the picket line.
That's when he walked over.
Yeah, he along with I think it was there's some pretty significant names who are like heroes of that generation who walked out on their own union.
Oh, Steve, is that what you're referring to? Should we maybe just explicitly say it?
And also
The reason you even have an ELC now is because of guys like him.
Saying, hey, well, we all took less and we won. I'm sorry, is that not turning the screws against your own player? Is that not you weaponizing the media? Is that not weaponizing the fans against your own guys? And I bet they loved playing for him.
Like, come on.
It's not good.
Yeah.
And here we are, back for the second period. The Carolina Hurricanes will start this period on a 2.5 minute, maybe a minute and a half left. I don't even know. I think it's a minute and a half left. Penalty on Eetu Luostarinen. Luostarinen has been kicked out of the game after a hit on Jackson Blake. And believe it or not, people online are defending it. I can't. I simply can't. How many accidentally on purpose moments do we need to have with the Panthers before? Listen, if you're a Panthers fan and you're like, hey, I'm going to say it right back to you. Hey, what about you? You guys know what you do. You guys know. Bob Smith, with Keith Pelly in charge of Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment, is it Maple Leaf Shorts and Entertainment? That's funny. It should be Shorts, bitch. A Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment company. Shorts, bitch. We had way too much fun on Friday's podcast. That's probably why it went out so late. Actually, you can blame the Leafs for it going out so late. It went out late because the bloody press conference was at 2:00 in the afternoon. Crazy. Is that dirtier than Aho's hit? I can't even remember Aho's hit. Probably, I listen, here's the thing. Jackson Blake undoubtedly puts himself in a position where that ain't great, and you probably shouldn't do that at the NHL level if you want your body to survive for a long time. The other side of it is the rule is written that the hit is the control of the hit is on the person that lays it, right? You have to take responsibility for the hit because you're laying it. And I think Luosterainen definitely took responsibility for it. That was a bad hit, man. It just was. And it neutralizes a little bit one of the better lines and one of the better players on one of the better lines for Florida, but that's okay. They have other ones. Sports Talk Chud, least favorite Bruins memory is 2 goals in 17 seconds. Not just because they lost the cup, but because it was to the Blackhawks. Awful, covered up for SA. Yeah. Well, I think it was just that it was awful. We had no idea about the SA at that point. Oh, I'll clap for next puck drop. Don't worry, guys. Sorry, I forgot. 1933, 1932, 1931 left in the second period. For those who want to align on the fly, and by the way, Carolina is on the power play. They have not been able to gain much here. Didn't get much done in the second period. Doesn't look like they're going to do much now. Lindell is going to clear that puck out. Here we go. We got a 2-on-1. Marchand, Lindell. Lindell's going in. Oh, and Kochetkov put his stick out to poke check so he couldn't drive too close. Smart call, I think. Keeps the game 1-0. 1 minute left in the Luosterainen power play. Hayden says Sammy could never. Yeah, Ilya Samsonov? No. Oh, and Svechnikov gets the puck and gives it away. Another 2-on-1 for the Panthers. It's broken up by Gostisbehere. Not maybe their best crew on a 2-to-1, but look at this. The Florida Panthers I think they're gonna. Oh! Kotkaniemi went to the net. Puck goes out. 35 seconds. Guys, we're 35 seconds away from the Florida Panthers killing a 5-minute penalty at home. That's what we call a dagger. That's what we call a dagger. Jared says the Florida Panthers YouTube channel might be the most subscribed in the league. Did not expect that. More than the Leafs, but a lot less engagement. That's interesting. Yeah, the Leafs one, actually, SDPN, I think, is 2,000 people short of Toronto Maple Leafs. Let's see what they have. Toronto Maple Leafs YouTube channel has 159,000 subscribers. The Leafs have, or the Leafs, the SDPN has 156. We're close. You hear those footsteps, Toronto Maple Leafs? We're coming for you. Here comes Mikkola. Skates it in through 3 Carolina Hurricanes, deep in the zone. Carolina, 18 seconds to go on this power play. Sorry, guys, I forgot to give you a clap on that face-off. Kotkaniemi deep. This was a depressing power play, man. And I think that the Carolina Hurricanes are going to go to the box. Kotkaniemi, I think, for cross-checking. Evan Rodriguez just drew another penalty, I'm pretty sure. He's good at that, man. Or was it Jones? Brind'Amour hates this. You can almost see that little gray tuft. Oh, man. Seth Jones, are you kidding me? Give me a break, dude. Listen, I have no horse in this fight. But are you friggin' kidding me? Look at the size of Kotkaniemi. He still looks like a child. Look at Seth Jones. The man is a marble god statue of muscle. You're joking me with that. That's a terrible call. Ref just got embarrassed, but you know what? It's working for the Panthers. 4-on-4 for about 8 seconds here. And we're gonna get another face-off, and then I will give you a clap. Rod Brind'Amour, you gotta score you gotta score goals to win, bitch. It's true. It's true. Man, that's rough. What a terrible call. You know what, though? It's not easy being a ref. Listen, I'm just going to call it like it is here, guys. The Panthers do a really, really great job of drawing penalties. Evan Rodriguez got one in the first. Probably shouldn't have been a call. And Seth Jones got one there. Listen, you can hate the player and you can hate the game, but the Panthers play it, and they play it to perfection. That's why they win so much. Now, we'll see if Carolina's PK can hold up. They've done they've allowed, the team's allowed 11 goals in the last 2 games, now 12 in the last 3. I feel like they could use a break here. Carolina, Martinook gets it. And I think Seth Jones was able to block that, and it goes to Aaron Ekblad. 1:04 left. Nothing going on either team's power plays here. Rodriguez dumps it in. Kochetkov, puck goes over his stick. Would have been more ideal if he'd handled that so his defenseman could get it. Tkachuk on the half board. He's been dangerous this series. His entire line. Kochetkov in traffic makes the save from the point. I think that was a Carter Verhaeghe shot. 47 seconds left on the power play. 16:56 left in the second period. Yeah. Ekblad and Jones are able to block that thing. They're just showing the replay of that. All right. I know I missed a super chat in there somewhere. Adam Neclerio. I still don't know have your name right. Is there anyone in particular you want the Leafs to go after this summer with the extra cap space? I want them to not blow it all. I want them to be conservative. I want the Leafs to do things like what the Washington Capitals do. And I want them to find problems mid-season they can take advantage of. There will be teams and players that have issues mid-season. And if you have cap space, you can take advantage of it. And I want the Toronto Maple Leafs to do that. Now, they need a second-line center. Oh, what a shot! Panthers! Good save by Kochetkov. He's keeping the Canes in this game. Panthers power play is over. 2 shots on it. Kotkaniemi out. 16:05 left in the second period. I think the Leafs solving their 2C problem is moving John Tavares down to 3C and finding the next 2C. Is that Sam Bennett? Is it Brock Nelson? Is it somebody else via trade? I don't know. But you got to look at that. Bobrovsky kicks the puck around. Carolina able to actually keep that in this time. That's something that the Panthers have been so good at this postseason. Goalie plays the puck well. Defenseman gets it. They clear the zone. And look at this fourth line. Nosek, Gadjevich. They're going to try to create an offensive zone faceoff here. That's all they got to do. Wear the Canes down. Keep the motor running. Get Kochetkov to cover that puck, and it's a perfect shift. That's all you got to do. Nosek down deep again. Seth Jones is going to hold that puck. He can't hold the line, but he shoots it back in anyway, and that is going to create a faceoff. Not ideal, a little outside the blue line, but still a great shift. 15 minutes exactly left in the second. I'm going to give you a clap. I keep telling you that I'm going to do it, and then I keep forgetting. Maybe it's the ADHD. Did I get the chat stirred up about McDavid to Toronto? Listen, guys, here's the deal with McDavid. If he doesn't sign an extension with Edmonton, and that's improbable, and he doesn't go to free agency on July 1st, 2026, again, improbable. If he becomes an unrestricted free agent, Connor McDavid will talk to the Toronto Maple Leafs, I'm sure of it. But he's going to go to the team that helps him win. He wants to win. So is Toronto in the best position there? Just saying. Justin Curry, Oilers fans, only here for Adam. You're the best. Thanks, Justin. Listen, the point is they've got to prepare for McDavid, but they can't bank on it. That you should be fired if you're not prepared to at least make McDavid an offer. Who wouldn't do that? That's idiotic and crazy, and you'd be a lunatic. And I think even Oilers fans understand that. But hey, man, his ex-agent is the president and CEO of the team. His ex-junior coach is the coach of the team. His best friend is on the team. It's going to be that's going to be tough. Tough to sell him on anything else, that's for sure. 13:57 left in the second period. Leafs get Dahlin at the deadline. I think the Leafs need a 2C before they get Dahlin. Dahlin and Matthews on the same team would be hilarious, though, considering their history. Hayden says, like Bennett and Marchand being on the same team. Exactly. You just never know in the NHL. 13:29 left. 45 seconds of ozone time here for the Carolina Hurricanes, which I think is probably the most they've had this entire series. Just crazy. Stankoven, Stahl, and Martinook, too. Stankoven with a shot. Saved by Bob. Orlov corrals the puck. He's out there with Nikishin, who's playing his first game in this series. I believe first game of the playoffs, too. Just signed after the KHL season ended. And there was a little bit of chaos there because the Canes refused to sign him. Tkachuk makes the move. Shot. Kachekov with a save. Tkachuk can't move quickly, but man, he's still got those hands. Taylor Hall across center, skating the puck in. Panthers all over him, dumps it low. Aho corrals back to this point, and the puck gets sort of blocked by Seth Jones, and Bobrovsky's able to cover it up. Joe Pipple, Adam, is McDavid sick of Western Conference travel? If so, there's a chance. Yeah, but okay, so let's say McDavid wants to leave the West, and it's because he hates flying on an airplane. Again, he's going to go, what team gives me the best chance to win? Because at this point, McDavid has so much money that it isn't, I mean, it's about being paid a lot. He should be the highest paid player in the league, but it's not really about that. Like, he would take less to play on teams that would be great. Of course he would. Dontro says, clap for the next face-off, please. You know what? I haven't done that. I'm sorry. Get busy, Treliving. I wonder about Brad Treliving, and I wonder about a guy like Blake Coleman. Clearly a guy he likes. And I wonder about a guy like Morgan Riley. I don't know that he's a fit on this team anymore. I don't know who takes that contract. But I wonder about a Morgan Riley trade out west. Closer to Vancouver where he lives. Or where he doesn't live there. He lives in Toronto. But where his family is, where he grew up. I wonder about that. I'm not saying that it's going to happen. I'm not saying I've even heard anything because I haven't. But Morgan Riley on the Leafs, I think in Berube's system, is an awkward fit. And I think he made some pretty rough, he had some great playoff moments this year. He also had some pretty rough ones. And I feel like they wish, if they could do it again, like listen, I'm just gonna be that guy and say it. I said from day one that contract was too much money. It was a bad deal when it was signed. Hayden says Mo for Pettersson. Yeah, if we can make sure that Pettersson hits a gym before the start of the season, that would be good. That'd be good. PD for Mo, I don't think so. It would, you know what? If you could get PD pumped and excited about life and get him to work out, dude, the guy has otherworldly talent. He's crazy talent. If you could get Pettersson, if any team gets Pettersson that's not the Vancouver Canucks, and you can get him motivated, dude, it'd be crazy. That guy's a 100-point player. He showed up to camp out of shape, and he never recovered this year. Clapping for puck drop. Aho kicked out. Here we go. Hawks 23. I see that you have a super chat. I'll get to you. Tkachuk at the blue line. His own. Gets the puck up. You got to think Panthers are hunting around for another one here, and this is the line that will probably do it. Sam Bennett, Tkachuk, Verhaeghe. They've been a problem for Carolina all series. They've already created opportunities tonight. It was the Barkov line that ultimately got the goal. Puck went off Dmitry Orlov and in. Oh, here we go. Verhaeghe. See, I told you. Now, if Verhaeghe could have hit the net there, that would have been helpful. How do you get that close and not hit the net? 11:43 left in the second period. Hawks 23. Marner feels like a great fit for the Kraken. He'd more than likely be playing first line minutes, and Seattle needs a superstar. Yeah, I don't know, but I don't think so. Guys, I would say with that contract, lean tax-free state. Lean tax-free. Because that's what all the insiders are saying. And if you notice all the cities that are in consideration, they're all tax-free or close to it. Are the income taxes in North Carolina crazy? Because I know Carolina's interested. And why wouldn't they be? He sort of fits perfectly. Winger that scores a bazillion goals and plays incredible defense. Like, he's the perfect Carolina Hurricane. Oh, big hit at the blue line there by Aaron Ekblad. Panthers able to turn over the puck because of it. Barkov back to the point. Forsling with a shot. He scored last game. That just goes wide. Ekblad keeping the puck in. And the puck will squirt out. Forsling puts it back in, and back in go the Panthers. Boquist, Rodriguez, and Barkov out there. Silent Rob 1192 tax free like Massachusetts. Is Massachusetts a tax free state? I don't think so. Thomas Hurdle to the Leafs. Yo, man, I'd love him. He's so big. Leafs could totally use a guy like that. Pretzel Hunt, you can live somewhere and not be a resident. Yeah, but you get taxed on, believe it or not. Oh, here we go. 3-on-2. Marchand. Oh, Stankoven hit the post on that one, by the way, previously. You get taxed on wherever you play. So every road game, you get taxed on that state's taxes. It's very complicated. Orlov with a shot. 9:24 left in the second period. Carrier behind the net, just holding the puck. Hammer 47. Corey Perry to the Leafs. Make the final, but lose. Hey, I'd take it. Listen, I've been heartbroken enough. I could take that kind of heartbreak. That would be good heartbreak. That would be a good problem. 8:56 left. Adam, what would you do if you ran the Canucks? I would. Here we go. We got a 2-on-1. Here's Tkachuk. Shot, and Kachekov makes the save. Puck squirted out for Hagee. Look at Tkachuk in there. There's 5 guys on him. Nobody's really willing to punch or do anything. And he's just trying to punch everyone. He's got like 4 arms of just punching. None of these Carolina Hurricanes will do anything to this guy. And he's right in on your goalie. Look at that. Stankoven hits the post, the outside of the post. So, yeah, what would I do if I was running the Vancouver Canucks? I would not trade JT Miller for Philip Hedl. How's that? I know the guy, the kid they got was good. Philip Hedl, are you guys kidding me? Guy with head trauma problems, then immediately comes to Vancouver, and what happens? Because when you get a concussion, you are more predisposed to more concussions. And no disrespect to him. I hope he's healthy. But, like, that is a rough go. That trade doesn't look good to me. Now, we'll see about that kid in the minors that they got. Here's the question about running the Canucks. Is Quinn Hughes staying? Because it sure doesn't sound like it. And if you trade him with 2 years left on his deal, he's going to be worth a fortune. And he's going to want to go to New Jersey. And you're going to ask New Jersey for, let's say, what can you get? Let's just look at their roster quickly. Can you get Dawson Mercer and Nemec and a first-round pick? Would that even be enough? Like, you got to get something. Maybe a prospect too. Like, the thing about the Canucks is they got to know the Quinn Hughes situation like now. Because if you play another season and you don't think you can make the playoffs, like they obviously think that they can, but you play another season and you don't make the playoffs, now you're forced to trade Quinn Hughes because he's probably not going to sign an extension with you. And his value goes down because you won't be able to hit up teams for more. And I don't even know if he's probably got trade protection, right? Let me have a look here. No, he has 0 trade protection. So you could trade him anywhere in the whole league. And he's got 2 years left at $7 million. Every team in the league should be calling the Vancouver Canucks right now and going, what would it take to get Quinn Hughes for 2 years? Even if he doesn't sign here, I don't care. Toronto should be calling. Would I move Nyes for Hughes? That's a tough question. It'd have to be some sort of package, but yeah, I think if you're Vancouver, you're immediately asking for Matthew Nyes, are you not? I would try to keep them away from Nyes and be like, here, I'll give you picks 2 through 7 in the next 2 drafts. You can have all of them, and I'll throw in Easton Cowan. And if you're Vancouver, you still probably don't take that. There are probably better packages out there, but any team that wants to do a deal like that with the Leafs, they're going to want Matthew Nyes. And the Leafs, after losing Marner for nothing, I don't know if they can do that unless you think you can replace that in free agency. Oh, big save there. Bit of a wide open game at the moment. Teams trading chances. Carolina is so much more into this game than they were last. Like, I think it took them till like midway through the third period to even get 11 shots last game. So they're well ahead of schedule. Haterade says, are you kidding me? Hughes is worth way more than Nyes. Oh, no, it would be Nyes plus. I'm aware of that. But I think Nyes is, I honestly think the Leafs should view Nyes as a future captain. So I don't think you should trade a guy like that. And yeah, it'd be cool to get Quinn Hughes, but Quinn Hughes wants to play with his brothers, man. It would be real great if the Leafs had a guy like that, though. Oh man, Verhaeghe tripped down, and I don't think they're going to get a penalty for that. Here comes Stakehoven. Puck tipped away by Seth Jones on a great play there. 7:30 left in the second period. Jankowski down low. Carrier tries to pull it out front. Can't, because the Panthers defense just straight up won't let him. Riley, Cowan, Danford, and a future first for Hughes. Mike, I don't think that would get it done. Angie Gray, just listen to the latest VIP episode before the stream. Adam, your dislike for Jeopardy was great. Hey, man, no disrespect to anybody that likes Jeopardy. We had to play, one of our fans who's amazing keeps making us hockey Jeopardy, and I can't stand Jeopardy generally. And this guy is some of the hardest questions I've ever seen in my life, man. They're crazy. It was fun. 7-11, baby. Here we go. Let's get a clap in there. Boom! Clap! You all have it. What are you going to do now? John says, I wouldn't go for Hughes. Price is too much. Leafs have done enough of that already. He's nice. Price isn't too much right now. $7.8 million. There's going to be teams that can get that deal done. But I think Jim Rutherford is just silly enough to go, you know what? Let's try it again. And you never know what the Canucks could do in free agency. But yeah, I think Rutherford's Looney Tunes enough to not trade him this offseason and wait till next year. And by the way, guys, everything I've heard, Quinn Hughes wants to play with his brothers. So hold on. Does Forsling kick this out? He does. Oh, Gus, you're going to the box, Big Daddy. Not that it matters. The Florida penalty kill has been unbelievable. 6:42 left. Puck over glass penalty for Forsling. All right, here comes the Canes power play, which has been bad. They got to score here. Clearly, they got to score here. I just don't have a lot of faith that they will. All right, here we go. 6:42. Boom. Power play started. Seth Jarvis gets the puck out front. And nothing. I'm telling you something. I'm telling you. This Florida Panthers penalty kill needs to be what every team switches to next season. They are so aggressive. And they're so good. Look what Seth Jones just did there. He created an offside, almost a turnover. And there's a turnover there. Lindell gonna get it into Marchand, who's almost got a breakaway. Lindell just misses him on the pass. Man, and then Marchand does a smart thing, bring it back, maintain possession. 40 seconds of this power play already gone. Already gone. It's crazy. Honestly, the Florida Panthers PK is sick. It's so friggin' good. And all it requires is for you to try. Oh, here you go. Here you go, Svechnikov. You got to shoot that. You got to shoot that. You're wide open. How are you not shooting that? No wonder Canes fans are shouting, shoot the puck. Dude, you got to shoot that. You have an open look. Gostisbehere gets the puck in. Bobrovsky's got it. Dude. Oh, my God. Like, I know, listen, the Panthers are clearly in the Canes' head. Okay, like that's clear. Okay, are they going to show the Svechnikov thing? Yeah. So Gostisbehere gets the puck in. Bobrovsky's got body on it. Svech in front of him. Didn't even see it, and he got his body on it. So they're not going to show the non-shot by Svechnikov, but trust me, you go back, you shoot that puck low through some legs. Burns takes too long, can't get the... See, this is the other thing. The Panthers are on you so fast at the point that you can't get set up. You don't have a chance to think. Burns screwed that up. They're lucky to keep the puck. Look at they're on him. Nobody back. Morrow. Stankoven. Kotkaniemi. Burns with the shot. Scores! Hey, they did it. They actually did it. And I think that's Logan Stankoven, the tiny guy. How about the Hurricanes? Wow. Well, we finally got a goal. Is this the first time that these two teams have been tied in this series? I'm pretty sure it is. It's the first tie of the series, except for the 0-0 ties. That's crazy. Canes have not had a lead in this entire series. The only time they've been tied with the Panthers is when it's been 0-0. That is a gargantuan goal. Canadian Girl 83 dropping 5 SDPN memberships. Wow. Stankoven, the guy that they got for Mikko Rantanen, along with 2 firsts and 2/3. Hey, if Mikko Rantanen went for Stankoven, 2 firsts and 2/3, imagine what Quinn Hughes could get you. A lifetime supply of, oh my God, this guy's so good. Yeah, the Canucks have got to figure out what they're going to do. Hawks 23 says, that's it, Canes in 6. Okay. I think the Cats will be just fine. They've had some good opportunities here. Kochekov was clearly the answer in net. If that was Freddie, the way he'd been playing, it'd be 3-1 right now. No Schick. Is that Gosper? Oh, stick gets in the way of that, the Carolina Hurricanes breakup. That sucks. Adam Neclerio says, feels like Jonas Brodin would be a nice Leaf target. Hayden says, you shut your mouth. Is he up this year, Hayden? Oh, so his contract's still, he's fine. I think they got to find a different guy to play with in Berube's system as a puck mover, and they could probably use 2 puck movers. OEL's a pretty good puck mover, like what he did, bit of a utility knife. If the Leafs could find a replacement for Riley, I think that would be good, but you've got to get somebody who's really, really good at moving the puck. They don't have to be an elite defenseman overall. They just got to be good at that one thing and not be a total tire fire in their own end. Please and thank you. Hayden says Brodin's got 2 more years on his deal. You can hear Hayden relaxing, going, He's your Chris Tanev? I would love Jonas Brodin then. Chris Tanev and Jonas Brodin? Oh my God. One thing that I think Kochekov could, and I would say this about Joseph Woll as well. What I'm noticing in this game is that he does not handle the puck very well. And as a result, his defensemen are getting crushed. And Joseph Woll does not handle the puck well for the Leafs. And the Florida Panthers made them pay. Stollers is amazing at puck handling. Woll needs to get better. And Tanev had to absorb a bazillion hits by these Florida Panthers. 3:22 left in the second. Barkov in front of the net, drops his stick. Svechnikov gets the puck. Puck intercepted. Aho going after the Panthers, and deep into the Carolina zone goes the puck. Brent Burns. Big stretch pass. Aho tips it in. Taylor Hall forechecking. Bobrovsky, though, there's that. Bobrovsky's a weapon. Oh, what a play. Taylor Hall with a good tip. Bobrovsky saw that thing. No chaos in front of that, but hey, good opportunity, man. Apparently, there's 1,400 people watching the stream. Can I get some likes? Can we drop a like? Can we drop a quick little likey poo? It's free. Helps us too. Helps our business. With this tiny little business called SDPN. By the way, I think it's totally fair that the Florida Panthers had a goal scored on them in a delay of game penalty. They deserved it. They had it coming. Aaliyah T says, likey poo executed. Thank you, Aaliyah T. Appreciate you. Logan Fruz, hi, Adam. I'm a sad Leaf fan in Saskatchewan. Man, doesn't matter where you live. You're a sad Leaf fan. Everywhere. Rory says, I can't reach my mouse to click it. It's too far to reach. You know what, Rory? That's not very nice. Okay. I'm just a hardworking guy trying to make this business work. Oh, they got the Jurassic Park promo on. Okay, guys, who's with me? Jurassic Park movies. The greatest of all time. Hayden says there's only one good one. Listen, he might be right, but I am for it. Give me all the Jurassic Park movies. I love all of them, even when they're bad. Yeah, Jurassic World's going to be sick. Hayden says that's Hayden's Fast and Furious, as in you don't like it? Oh, yeah. Yeah, Hayden's like, I don't care about I still like watching them. Of course. That's what they've turned Jurassic Park into. They watched Fast and Furious and like they're putting Tyrese in space in a Dodge Charger. I feel like perhaps we can get away with more dino content. And they're right. Sometimes you want a movie where you don't have to think. It's my favorite kind of movie. Life's too deep. 3 minutes. Shots tied 15-15. 3 minutes left in the second period. Here's a face-off. Won by Janikowski. Shot. Fourth line for the Canes out here. Nikishin, number 21, playing the point closest to your TV screen. That's a guy you want to watch out for. Canes have high hopes for this guy. He's huge. Nate Schmidt jumps on the puck. And the Florida Panthers just grab everybody, and the Canes do nothing about it, man. Start doing something. Start getting mad. Lankachita says, my Kachekov pulling a Cam Ward prediction, not looking so bad right now. No, you are correct. Sedin Magic 15 says, like, subscribe, tell all your friends. Hawks 23 says, Jurassic Park should have ended after the first Jurassic World. Incorrect. They need to keep going. I actually think the new Jurassic Park is going to be way better than the Chris, what's his name? What's his name? You know, Chris Pratt. The Chris Pratt one, the first one was good, but it got cheesy, the second one. Like Jurassic Park's always cheesy, but it got so cheesy, you're like, nah. And they're like giving away the Raptors at the auction. I'm like, I can see this, but like, come on. Hayden had a crush on Bryce Dallas Howard. Of course. Bryce Dallas Howard is gorgeous. And now she's a Star Wars director. That is true. She did some Mandalorian episodes, right? Or no? Was it Mandalorian? Yeah. And Ahsoka. Jared says, do you like Mad Max movies or John Wick? I love Mad Max movies. I like the George Miller ones. Although I didn't see Furiosa. I should watch that. But the original ones with Mel Gibson before he was a Looney Tune. And, man, they were great. And low budget and crappy and poorly shot and just so beautifully 80s. It's amazing. .158 left in the second. Shot. And Kachekov goes out to get it. Look at Bennett on Stankoven. He's just like, you know what? You didn't do anything to me, but I'm going to punch you anyway. This is where Carolina gets punked. Because, listen, it's not Stankoven's fault that Bennett's bigger than him. It's just genes. But, like, get in there and start throwing guys to the ice. You got to get mad here. You know what? Like Sam Bennett doesn't think twice about the occasional dirty shot. Look at Brad Marchand last year. Look at Stollers this year. No one does it to him, though. No one. It's weird. 1:54 left in the second period. Carolina outshooting Florida in this game, and Carolina outshooting themselves the entire last game. They only had 14 shots on Thursday night. And here it is Saturday night. They got 17, and the second period isn't even over yet. Apparently, the AI summary mentions Jurassic Park now. Well, that's great. Canadian Girl 83, if we stop talking about movies, boom, there's the face-off, by the way. If we stop talking about movies that should have stopped with sequels, can I vote Land Before Time, or am I aging myself? Like the first one, though. Yeah, the second one where they're like, you're a water waster. And there was like 16 Land Before Times, though. It's insane. It's a silly series, but the original Land Before Time is goated. One of the greatest of all time. By the way, you know who sucks in a faceoff draw, even though he just won one? Sam Bennett. Go look up at his career faceoff percentages. It's always like 45, 46%. I'm surprised. Like, that's a skill you just learn by practice. I'm surprised he's not better at it. Like, you're going to go and try to make $10 million and you can't win a faceoff, buddy? Oh, there's Taylor Hall, and he's brought down. Well, he kind of fell down. He wasn't brought down. Bennett corrals, but look, here's what Bennett does. In the playoffs, he scores goals, and he punches people. Forsling drops it. Bennett to Verhaeghe. Oh, that was Tkachuk to Verhaeghe. Ekblad shoots that puck in. Tkachuk in front of the net. Forsling keeps that puck in. Tkachuk behind the net. In Gretzky's office, nobody out front to give it to him. And Kachekov rightly puts down the paddle to block the pass. Verhaeghe's going to drive. Look at him. He's all alone. What a move. Kachekov with a save. Verhaeghe's going to try, and there is a penalty. The Canes are going to go to the box. I don't know if it's Aho. I don't know if it's Burns. I'm not sure who brought Verhaeghe down. But someone's going to the box here. And listen, use your body on these guys. So it's Aho. Aho's going to get it. Keeps that arm in there. And you know, it's interesting. Aho should have got the call when Verhaeghe was going in the net. I think the call was made after, when Verhaeghe just kind of fell. That's crazy. So it's Tkachuk, it's Barkov, it's the big boys out there for the Florida Panthers. Tkachuk on the board. Ekblad. 40 seconds to go in the period. Ekblad with the puck on the half board. Tkachuk at the point. Rodriguez over to Seth Jones. He's able to keep it in. Carolina has not pressured Florida the way that Florida pressures Carolina when they're on the power play. But they're able to throw the puck down. Only 19, 18, 17, 16 seconds to go in the second period. Florida likely starts the third period on the power play unless they can get something going here. Carolina is able to break that up at the blue line, and we are going to the third period here. Man, give the Carolina Hurricanes credit. They are showing signs of life. They are suffocating offense as much as possible. And when they do break, and the Panthers do break them, Pyotr Kachekov is doing a great job. He's made saves he shouldn't make. And you need that from your goalies in the playoffs. Freddie wasn't making saves. Freddie was making good saves. Freddie wasn't making spectacular saves. When they needed a save, Freddie couldn't do it. Kachekov is. And he looks good tonight. He looks really good. Wow. All right, well, maybe Carolina's back in this series, guys. We'll see how the third period sort of plays out here. What do we got in the chat? Hawks23, I asked Steve this yesterday, but are you into Warhammer at all? Justin Fisher, who's running the SDPN chat tonight, and Hayden, I think, is. And I know... Yeah, Tim Haraney is into it. Oh, yeah, Justin Fisher is, he is so into that. I've heard the game is incredible, and I have not played it, but now they've announced a bunch of extra content for it, like DLCs. So I might have to get into it. You know what? Listen, here's the deal. Once these streams are over, like we're gonna be into the Stanley Cup Finals, and there's gonna be nothing for me to do. So maybe what I do is I set up the PS5 that we have one here at SDPN, and I buy Space Marine, and we play a little of that, and we work our way through together. But what I like to do with a game I've never played before is I like to start it on hard or very hard. So I'm just awful at the beginning, so I learn. Because if you start it on easy and then you learn, then it's kind of lame. Because after a while, you kick the computer's ass, right? I want to like die a bunch of times and then learn. Hawks 23, run through the heretics. Nothing beats real Warhammer. Off-season streams, let's go. Yeah, I got to do something, right? Like we can't just stop streaming. It would make sense to do that. So I'm thinking that I was thinking about getting one of those Switch 2s through SDPN and playing Mario Kart. But the problem is that I don't think that they're even delivering it yet because of the tariffs. So, wait, is Jose Pantalones here? Where is Jose Pantalones? Is he here? Benno Hawk, Adam, Real Warhammer is a tabletop miniature game. I know that. I know. Jonna says, I'm just tuning in. What are the thoughts on the Luosterainen hit? I think Luosterainen knew what he was doing. I think Jackson Blake probably wasn't in the best position. And so, therefore, it's on the guy throwing the hit to not do that. And instead, he kind of rammed his head into the wall. Chris McKee says, you think Lando wins Monaco tomorrow? I hope so. Hayden says, no, it's a Ferrari 1-2. It has to be Charles Leclerc. And it has to be Lewis Hamilton. I hope Lando does. He's got to have a good start. If he can start well and they can pit stop well, which they do, we'll be good to go. Now, Jose Pantalones is here. Joey Pants, everybody. Joey Pants has entered the chat. Just in time for me to play a clip. Hayden, what are we doing? Guys, it's us talking about Keith Pelly and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Again, drink our tears this intermission, and then we'll get back to the Canes and Panthers tied at 1s on Saturday night on the SDPN YouTube channel.
So, I guess I'm going to pull up your tweets, Jesse, because it's just easier to go by timeline.
Smacked myself very hard.
Did you really? How'd you hit yourself?
When you were King Pelly?
When I was Keith King Pelly, I'd
Shorts,
do this.
That's me.
Shorts.
Now,
you ever see pants? Not on my watch. Keith Pantsless Pelly coming at you. Bitch, he calls everyone bitch. It's really rude.
Yeah,
it's so rude that he does that.
It was a little off-putting. I gotta be honest.
Yeah,
it was a little off-putting.
He said to you, "How you doing, bitch?" And you're like, "Whoa."
I was like, "Whoa,
Keith Pinkman Pelly.
I get I'm wearing pants, but this isn't the golf tour."
Yeah.
Why?
Masters bitch.
Yeah. And you're so tall, like you have more pants than most people.
Yeah, so he's always throwing off my pants.
Way too much. Pants.
So Jesse, my first question before we really get into this is: did you sit with CJ at the press conference?
I sat behind CJ.
Okay, so you guys sit together?
CJ sits with the TSN guys. He sits with Masters and Pierre.
Oh, okay. The scary guys.
Masters?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Man.
What? Is that spooky?
So,
Man.
like,
Don't say his name.
No,
he who must not be named.
Yeah.
So, when CJ was sitting with Mark Masters,
yeah, the man responsible for the reason the Leafs do not have a cup.
That's right, Mark Masters.
Yeah. He probably said it.
Yeah,
he said, "There he is."
Did CJ, LeBrun, and Masters make a mess when they clinked their chalices of blood and drank it in front of everyone?
Yeah.
Did they?
Blood
Yeah.
and tears.
Yeah.
Blood and tears.
That's
Yes,
great.
yeah.
That's what they want. Now, Keith was talking about being at Game 5 and Game 7. He acknowledged that it was quite difficult to be there. And the first real question from like Kevin McGran, which they didn't mic him up for, and I was sad about that. But
Just imagine.
Keith's talking about essentially what the Panthers said after Game 7.
Did the mics not come through on the question?
On the McGran one, it didn't. They had it sorted out by the second question.
Oh, okay.
That's why I don't know what exactly he asked. But essentially, in and around the first few questions, you get an answer about what Marchand, what Tkachuk, and what Maurice said about playing in Toronto, which is, guys, it's all your fault. If you just stopped caring so much.
You should play in Florida where no one gives.
Well, it's because they're trying to listen. Mitch Marner, they already have said. I think it was Dregs that had it, that Florida's one of the teams that's interested. What do you think they're doing? They're pitching him.
No. Now, wait a sec. Panthers fans, you're going to think this is a Canadian talking down to you again.
No.
And, no one in Florida cares about hockey. No, I didn't say that. Paul Maurice, Brad Marchand, and Matthew Tkachuk said that.
Yeah.
Remember, I wrote about this in my book. When Radko Gudas is like, oh, Canada, boo. So he went to California. There are plenty of valid reasons to go to California. He probably lives a hop, skip, and a jump from Disneyland. That's amazing.
The bad one.
Yes.
Yeah,
Let's be honest.
That's a bad one.
Let's be honest, Anaheim. You got the second best Disney one.
I've only been to one of them, and that's the one I went to.
It was the
Disneyland.
Land. And it was, by the way,
Disneyland sucks.
Disney. All the mistakes they made at Disneyland, they didn't repeat at Disneyland.
Well,
Yeah, Disney World is incredible. Disneyland, I'm sorry.
I
Anaheim.
enjoyed my time there. But he specifically talked
because you wore
about-
shorts.
I did.
It's
I
hard
wore
to have a
shorts.
bad time when you're wearing shorts. As Keith Pelly once
You know
said.
what? And this blonde guy ran up to me and he just went, fuck yeah! And he ran away. And I had no idea who he was.
No.
And now looking back,
It must have been Keith.
that must have been Keith Pelly.
man,
that
that's
was,
great.
oh
That's
shit.
great.
He smacked me
He
real
said,
hard.
"High five, bitch."
He like five-starred me in the back. I was like, sir, I'm on my honeymoon. Don't call me bitch in front of my new wife.
He's like, you're wearing shorts. I got excited.
Oh my
Mark
God.
Masters isn't here. Isn't this great?
You know, if Mark Masters was here, this
I
Disneyland
gotta
wouldn't
keep my
exist.
voice down. Mark Masters isn't here. And if he is here, I'm freaking terrified. Where was I going with that? Oh, yeah. The subtext of every word he spoke was fans in Anaheim don't give a shit. That was the subtext. That's
It's
your
easy.
captain.
Yeah.
The captain of the Ducks doesn't think Anaheim cares about hockey. Fact. Fact. Print it. Tell him I said it. I don't give a shit. And then Marchand and Tkachuk and Paul Maurice did a whole tour about how Florida doesn't give a shit. They don't even sort of give a shit. So, I'm sorry, what's the subtext? Am I getting it wrong? I'd love to know how I'm getting it wrong.
So-
I don't need to invite people to tell me how I'm wrong.
Now-
they'll do it on their own.
to
Go
be-
ahead. What's the subtext?
To be fair to Cats fans, we have plenty of Panthers fans. They joined me for the stream last night in a objectively bad game,
But
and they're
don't-
hilarious.
Yeah, they're hilarious, and we love them, and you can hang out with us. Don't worry. We like you. We like you.
Just not your team.
Players and coach hate you. We like you. We know you exist, and we appreciate that you exist. The players on your team, the coach of your team, they resent you and wish you didn't go to the game.
Please don't ask me questions.
We do not.
So
we do not.
So that media tour, guys, gave rise to like the first question, and it essentially was about. And Jesse, I'm gonna quote what you wrote here. Pelly said, "Pressure is a privilege. The greatest hockey team in the world is the Toronto Maple Leafs, and as a result, you see the passion and the tribalism."
And that wasn't even from a question. He said that in his opening statement.
Oh, is that right? Okay,
That's how much of a storyline it was. They wrote down that in the first 4 sentences, you have to talk about the pressure of playing as a Toronto Maple Leaf.
Yep.
It's the Florida Panthers have screwed this entire market.
Well, I think
could've told you
they've
that.
got the entire press corps asking everybody, "Is it too much?"
Right.
Now, he also then confirmed that Brendan Shanahan would not be replaced. So it will be Brad and Craig reporting directly to Keith. Keith was then asked about, will you have player personnel decision-making power? And he's like, listen, I'm the CEO of MLSE. I'm not the player personnel guy. That was, believe it or not, what's crazy about what happened today and yesterday is this setup is what Dubas wanted. This setup is what got Dubas fired. No one talks about this, but Dubas went to the board and said, I want decision-making power above Shanny. That's why he was let go. Because again, if they gave him that, what's Shanny's role? We talked about this in 2023. You take Shanny out of that role, well, why is he there?
Yes.
Dubas and Shanny got into a sword fight and Shanny won.
Yes.
They had a
But it's
power
important to
play
hear
for the one job. And Brendan Shanahan won that power.
And guess
the
what?
one with more authority.
And now Keith Pelly,
Go figure.
Kyle does need to take some ownership of making some very odd decisions, especially towards the end.
but Keith has come in and effectively put that management structure in place 2 years later.
And later on, he's asked about what he did at TFC, which is the exact same thing. And they were like, okay, does that mean you took some guidance from that and you're applying those to this? And he denied it. But it is clearly how he thinks things should be run.
That's how he's running it.
I think he was lying a little on that answer. But what he did at TFC is exactly what he's done with the Toronto Maple Leafs, because he believes like you don't need too many cooks in these kitchens.
Well, I also think the characterization of that question, although true, was a little bit, because I think it was Josh Cloakey, I think, that asked that question, and it was sort of like he said, well, you fired Bill Manning and you won like 6 games last year. And to which I think we all know, like, when you fire a manager and you've got contracts on the books like they have right now that they can't get rid of because one of their big Italian stars had a deal ready to go.
He hates this place.
And then he said, no, actually, I don't want to, and stuck around another year. So their rebuild's going to take some time.
Oh, yeah.
Bill Manning had the highest payroll in the MLS and consistently finished near last place. Like, I don't know if you're Keith Pelly, what choice you have. At least Brendan was in the playoffs.
Yes.
Right? So, clearly that's how he sees this is going.
Yeah.
So then later on, we have a pathway. So what is the measure of success going forward? We know now internally it was the 3rd round this year. If the 3rd round was achieved, then they keep everything the same. And by the way, what's interesting is they talk about this a little bit in The Athletic with some of Chris's reporting and Jonas's reporting. The fact that the door might have cracked open a little bit if they'd been close in Game 5 and Game 7. But even then, I still don't think that's the bar. You can't allow for that to... Did you get there or did you not get there?
Yeah, but those, like, if we're sitting here and last night was home game again, number 2 in the conference finals, I think Brendan Shanahan still has a job come.
He's probably got an
next season.
extension.
Yeah. Oh,
He's
yeah.
probably signed it.
Yeah.
For me, the drop dead date was last year. It was last year, but again,
Hey, what happened though?
the Leafs, you ever play a real good hand and then someone busts out, I just got here. And that's what the Leafs did. They busted out the joker of all professional sports, which is I just got here. Give me a sec. And that's what Shanahan did when he started with the Leafs. Okay, so you're firing Randy Carlyle, right? Up! Bloom! I just got here. And he slammed that shit down on the table, and they kept him for another year.
Right. But by all accounts, the board liked Brendan Shanahan. They sided with him in the Dubas debate, and they kept him around for 11 years, and they were very happy with what he'd done. And it's strictly the on-ice performance at the end of the day that got him moved out. And if that was just a little better, meaning conference finals this season, I think he 100% sticks around.
Now,
but that's not a reality, and he was asked about it, and he said, I don't deal in hypotheticals.
Right.
I'm not going to answer a question about hypotheticals, even though, I assume they knew that if they had gone through, he would have stuck around.
Now let me go back in time.
Yes.
Who hired Kyle Dubas?
Brendan Shanahan.
Who promoted Kyle Dubas?
To GM?
Yeah.
Brendan Shanahan.
And he was allowed to fire him. So, like, how many GMs do you get? How many head coaches does the team get? How many... Adam made the great point with the assistant coaches. Like, it's at least a dozen. How many of this? How many of that? How many of that? And there was like one common denominator at the end of the day. It was Shanahan and the core. And they refused to move off of either of them until it was too late.
All right, but I think they would have looked at this season as a success. with
if they
one
made
more
it to the
victory.
yeah.
One more victory.
I
And
guess
listen,
my
at
argument
a
is
certain point, you
whether-
have to pass the bar.
Whether
Did you pass
you
the bar?
agree with their bar of success or not,
It was their bar.
Is the debate. Like, you don't agree with their bar of success. I don't agree with it either. I think I'm on
don't-
your side in that he wouldn't have done anything, but that's Rodgers' bar of success.
If they went to the third round, I'm sure it would give me the warm and fuzzies and I would feel different. My argument is they were never going to get there. But I started to dream. They were up 2-0.
I agree.
And they started to kick the Panthers' ass in game 3. I can't believe they lost that game. Like,
That's why I would read Anthony Petrelli's article on it too, because there's some really great insights about why they lost. And
Of all the stuff from that series that I try not to think of, it's not game 7. It's not game 5. I try my best not to
Game
think
3.
of game 3.
Yep.
I try my best not to think of game 3.
Are we ready for the third period? Can the Carolina Hurricanes actually win a game here? Can they shock us all and do this? I think this is what's gonna matter here is who scores. I mean, this is the dumbest take ever. Who scores first? But it's not who scores first, it's how quickly they score. You get out there and you score early, I think that's more of a dagger than you scoring later. And I know that sounds counterintuitive, but it instantly puts the team on the back foot and makes them panic and makes them panic longer. Oh, I'm watching a Jurassic Park promo right now. Oh, baby, give me this movie. Let's go. Hayden says a franchise that needs to end is Jumanji. Well, listen, if you put The Rock and Kevin Hart in a movie, it's guaranteed to be bad. No disrespect to those guys, but like enough. They're bad. They make bad movies on purpose because bad movies pay well. They're bad. The movies are bad. There, I said it. Maple Leaf 69 says, just checking in, I'm surprised they actually called a game misconduct. Yeah, I mean, it was super obvious, and if they hadn't, that would have been really bad. I am looking at the first Kevin Hart and Rock Jumanji movie was fun. Okay. Gordon says, has Jack Black ever said no to a script? I don't think so. Jack Black has the biggest hit of the year. The Minecraft movie is the biggest hit of the year by far, followed up by Michael B. Jordan's Sinners. I've heard Sinners is great, by the way. Crazy good movie, from what I've heard. Robert Zukas, Adam, what's your favorite underrated band? I'm a classic rock guy, so I'll go with underrated Canadian gods, April 1. I absolutely love April 1. All right, here we go. Jose Pantalones says, Robin Williams' Jumanji is the only one. Man, it was so good. It was so good. There was real emotion in that movie. You know what I mean? Like, even that, you know what the thing that stuck with me was the guy that was going to create, like, the sneaker. And remember, like, he didn't get to create it because it got eaten in that machine. And then his dad got mad at him, whatever it was. Like, his friend, you know? Oh, that was a heartbreaking story. I still think about that. .54 seconds left. Panthers on the power play. Just a Jersey boy says, praise the Omniscias. Omniscia? Play Space Marine once before 2 because the story will make so much more sense. And if you want good Warhammer RTS, Dawn of War 1 and 2 and Dawn of War 3. Dawn of War 3 never happened. Okay. Yo, I love an RTS. I'm a StarCraft. You know what game I'd love to play, but I have a Mac laptop? There's a Star Wars game from 2006 called Empire at War, and I used to play it to death. And apparently it's made a huge comeback on Steam, and I would love to play it, but they don't make it for Mac. And I can't just go out and buy a PC computer just to play a game, as much as I would love to. Hayden, you have over 1,000 hours in Empire at War? No way. Oh, that's crazy. By the way, I downloaded the original Battlefronts 1 and 2 from the PlayStation Store the other day. They were on for like $30, which is still too much money. The game's like 20 years old. But I started playing the first mission at Geonosis again, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so bad at this. I got my ass kicked by a game that's 20 years old. Adam, if you want, Adam, you can set up a virtual machine to play Windows on your Mac. But does it work for that game? Because I would love to know. Empire at War is such a sick game, and apparently, like if you play, I guess if you have an emulator, you can do it. But I don't know how to do that shit, guys. Like I'm terrible at that. Oh, here comes Boquist, and he scores. Oh my God! We need to stop talking about video games for a second. Jesper Boquist just said, I'm scoring a goal, and Dmitry Orlov, who's having the worst game he could possibly have at the worst time. And part of it's bad luck, but part of it is, come on, Dmitry, maybe use your body. Dude. Well, look, Boquist is only on this line because Reinhardt is injured. And look at him. Look at that backhand. Hall makes a bit of a bad play at the red line. This should be nothing. Orlov, oh my God. Look at the speed from Boquist, too. Just makes Orlov can't get turned around. Look, just totally lost. Wow. Not ready at all. Orlov's having a rough night, dude. Should Kochekov have had that? Yeah, you like a save there. But Orlov could maybe use his body and stop a guy. Oh, that's rough. And he's mad. You can tell. He's big mad. Is Gun Toten Granny says Orlov definitely injured. He's playing like it. That's not great. Jose, Joey Pants is like Panthers stink at home, LOL. What's hilarious about that is they're winning. And you're like, yeah, it's not good enough. They're not winning by enough. Not nearly enough. Carolina almost has 20 shots. We can't allow this. It's obnoxious. Sedin Magic 15, that was shades of Bouchard and Draisaitl last year. Boquist just decided where he was going to score. Yeah, man, he was like, I'm going to score here. It's mine. Boquist, by the way, who was playing fourth line last game and doing a fine job, but Reinhardt goes down, Boquist goes up, and Maurice says, all right, man, next man up, be ready. And he's ready. That was a great play. Great turnover, by the way, too. Like, the Panthers did a great job turning that puck over. I don't know what you're going to do here if you're Rod Brind'Amour. This is about as good as the Canes have played against the Panthers, and yet still, here we are. Yuck. By the way, for anybody that knows computers, is it actually possible to run like a Windows? Oh, man, Kochekov needs to have that right between his legs. Look at Boquist taunting the crowd. Oh, yeah, baby. Can you actually run an emulator and play Windows games on a Mac and do it in a way that's not going to screw up your computer forever? Because I would love to do that. Computer people, let me know. I am not a computer person. 17:38 left in the third. Panthers now up. That means the Carolina Hurricanes are going to have to do the thing that they're not comfortable doing, which is scoring goals. And it's worth knowing that Carolina has only scored 3 goals in this series. Giggling Cat dropping another another super chat. Cat, the Cats fan, let's go Panthers. Adam, you can get a Raspberry Pi for $40 and do it, Adam. What's that? What's a Raspberry Pi? Just a Jersey boy. Empire of War is a top 3 RTS game of all time. You can get a pretty cheap regular PC that will play the game as it's pretty old. The mods are crazy. Basically allows you to play stories from Legends. I would love to do that. Oh, what a save. Kochekov still keeping this Carolina team in the game. SLS, Adam, choose a different Star Wars character to be the president, GM, and head coach of the Leafs. Okay. Well, you have to understand. Oh, okay, that can't count. If that's a goal, that can't count. Kachuk just need Kochekov in the head with both knees. Orlov trying to punch a Kachuk. Now, if I were to say I need a Star Wars character to run the Leafs, so let's pretend let's start with the Empire, because Kachuk just dropped both knees on the goalie. Come on, what are we doing here? Carrier, I know, pushes him, but Kachuk's like, oh no, what happened to my knees? Is it in the face? So if you're the Empire, the guy that's got to run things from the top it's got to be Grand Moff Tarkin. That guy, I know he's out in the first movie, but I'm telling you, that guy did a lot of stuff. You read the books, Grand Moff Tarkin, pretty integral guy, okay? As your general manager, somebody who's going to bring people together for the Empire, because the Leafs in this are the evil Empire. I think you're going to need somebody who really has good faculties. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody who can pull a crowd together. Like Tarkin can do that. But I think in this particular instance, I'm thinking that you go with, this is tough. Now, I know Vader choked him to death, but Admiral Neato, the guy that lost Han Solo in Empire Strikes Back, Vader did force choke him to death, but he pretty good at bringing the Star Cruisers together and locating Han Solo in the asteroid field. So I'd say he'd be a good GM. And then for your coach, I know I got my thing all screwed up, Darth Vader. Because imagine you have a bad period and you go back to your dressing room and then it's just Darth Vader. And he's breathing on you. No friggin' way, dude. And by the way, for everybody that's saying Palpatine owns the team. Watch Medicine, Marchand and Seth Jones be ejected for the Canes to win. Potentially. Jones is playing really good hockey, man. Really good. Sam Bennett line again in on these guys. They turn the puck over. Jones is not able to keep it in at the zone or in at the blue line. 16 minutes to go in the third period. Kachuk touches the puck. He is offside. Offside, baby. Star Wars Shadows of the Empire was my jam on N64, according to Joey Pants. And I'm telling you, it was a good game. Okay, I'm going to have to look up what a Raspberry Pi is. Raspberry Pi. It's a single board computer. Oh, it's literally just the circuit board, right? Yeah, guys, come on. I don't know what to do with that. What am I supposed to do with that? That means nothing to me. That looks like calculus to me. Oh, it's pronounced Pi. A Raspberry Pi. I don't know what to do with a Raspberry Pi. But I'm sure I could run it. I'm sure I could run Empire at War on the cheapest computer imaginable. Because that's an old-ass game. And I loved it. 15:35 left in the third. Hammer 47 says you can get a kit with a case. Do I need a monitor as well? Again, this is how little I know about computers. Just watch a 10-minute setup video. That's a good idea. I know nothing about computer programming, by the way. Oh, it supports HDMI. So I could just run it on my... So wait, I could just run a computer game on my TV. That'd be sick. I'd love that. Marchand saying, pointing up at the score. He's such a shit. Here you go. 15:22 left in the third. Carolina need to start generating some opportunities here. They got to score on Bob. Panthers. Canes into Google. So let's have a look at this, okay? So, oh my God, this is so annoying. I'm just trying to look up the scores because I can never remember scores the game after. So, what I'm trying to figure out here is, Stankoven, nice move. Have the Carolina Hurricanes shown any aptitude to score more than a goal in a game? I think it was 6-2 the first game, 5-1 the second, or 5-0. Like, I'm watching these games and I don't even know. Yeah, it was 5-0 and then 6-2, right? Oh! That hit the crossbar. So maybe they can. Bit of a tire fire in the Panthers zone right now. Morrow, rookie, playing along here. He gets knocked down. It might be a turnover. Nice play there. Gadjevich just is like, no, I'm just going to hit you. Wow. Yeah, so the Carolina Hurricanes have scored 3 goals in this series so far in 3 games. They had 2 in the first against Florida, shutout last game. It's crazy. I don't know, guys. I feel like even tying this up is good. Oh, it's over. That's a goal. Nico Mikkola picks a corner. What a goal. It's over. It's over. It's got to be over, right? Wow. Wow. Hayden just said one more stream, Adam. Man, Robinson almost scored there. And then immediately it's this friggin' Kachuk line again. Look at Bennett. Another point for him. Like, the Kachuk line has been unbelievable in this series, and they were a non-factor against the Leafs. You didn't notice them. You noticed Bennett, but you didn't notice the rest of them. This is crazy. What a shot. That's a crazy shot. I also wonder what Pyotr Kochetkov is doing down. Why is he down? You got to stand up there, partner. That is crazy. Denise Campbell, did you see Easton Cowan tonight? GOT? I did not see him tonight. Been watching this. Steeson Schiller, who's your favorite Star Wars background character? Mine is Biggs Darklighter. I've always been a Wedge Antilles guy. Always been a Wedge guy. Love Wedge Antilles. That's General Antilles by the end of it. Oh, here he comes. Markov scores! Oh, my God, and he stripped the puck off Orlov. Yo, you can't play Orlov. You can't play him. You cannot play Orlov. He can't be on the ice. I'm sorry to say it. It's 4-1. It was 2-1 a minute ago. It was tied at 1 at the start of this period. The Panthers are unstoppable. Oh, man, that is terrible. Wow. Barkov just picks a corner here. Boom. Oh, man. Nikishin doesn't do anything there to even jump in. And I understand it's his first game, but Orlov looks like, oh, man, I feel bad for him. He looks terrible. Wow. 2 goals in 29 for the Panthers. 2 goals in 29 seconds. They're not even finished doing the Mikkola announcement. Try and fit one. Empire at War runs nice on my Mac. How? How does it run nice on your Mac? I want to play it so bad. Rick Rocketman, why do I put myself through the torture of rooting for this team? Amen. Jake Nye says, controversial takes. If the Hurricanes are in a similar boat to the Leafs in regards to the past decade, sure, they've made the conference finals, but they get chased every time. Honestly, I asked that question after the last game, and I have to say, Canes fans really gave it to me, and I understood why. I was like, is Rod the Bod's job on the line here? And they're like, no, this is a rebuild year for us. And it is. This is a rebuild, retool year for them. Stankoven tries to do it all by himself. Oh, I think Ekblad might be down. It looks like he really hurt himself. And they blow it dead. Oh, it's Mikkola. Okay, I don't understand why they do this in hockey games. So you're not supposed to blow the puck dead when somebody's down on the ice. And period, end of story. Unless they're like, they can't get up. He got up. Like, the thing with hockey is it's supposed to keep going. What is the judgment here? Oh, so he just trips. Boom. Oh, he might have popped a shoulder. Oh. Oh my God. Yeah, he popped a shoulder. Gage Forsmark says, more painful Eastern Conference stats for the Canes. They're 0 for 13 run to this point. They have only scored more than 2 goals twice. One in 09 Game 2 versus Pittsburgh. One in the 23 Game 4 versus Florida. By the way, aren't they 0 for 14 now? I think it's 0 for 14, and this should be 0 for 15. City and Magic 15, your honest opinion, Adam, are the Canes going to get swept in the East Final for the 4th straight time? It's really hard to sweep. It kind of looks like this is going to happen, right? Like, I'm not the only one seeing that. Mikola Rantanen says Sports Talk Judd. Just Jersey Boy says, get a cheap PC tower with a dedicated GPU. Get a stream link so you can stream games on your TV. Steam often has, get a Steam link. And you can stream games on your TV. Steam often has sales, and you can save a ton. I would love that. I actually, strangely enough, I already own Empire at War on Steam. I just, when I downloaded it, realized that it's Windows only. How cheap of a laptop can you get? Is my question. Watch Medicine 4 says, going to Game 4 to see the trophy not being touched. Yeah, no kidding. You should. Who else did I miss? Matt Wilkins, Ron Burgundy voice. Well, that escalated quickly. Yeah. Guys, this is crazy. SLS says, did you see Steve's tweet about you? I did not. Giggling Cat. Cat the Cats fan says, that's 2. Actually, Cat, it's 4. Watch Medicine says, are you not entertained? We're entertained, unless you are a Canes fan, and then you are very not entertained. What is he saying? Oh my God, it's a stupid bird tweet. I'm not even reading that. He actually texted me today about the birds. And I was like, man, that's so cool, man. I'd rather sew my eyelids to carpet. No, take that off the screen, Hayden. I don't care. I don't care about a downy woodpecker. I don't care. Like, listen, guys, have your hobbies. That's so cool. That's great. There is explaining birding to someone who doesn't care. Like, explaining hockey to someone who doesn't care, you might get them to care. Explaining birding to someone who doesn't care, there's no shot. There's no shot. It's either part of your genes or it isn't, and it ain't part of my genes. Oh my God, the blue-footed boobies in the chat right now. Just bird off. No, Hayden, you can't put it over my face. I'm trying to do a very serious stream here where we're figuring, and the Panthers scored again. And Hayden, I wasn't even on the screen for this one. I wasn't even on the screen. Hayden, how are you even going to clip that? Oh my God, the Panthers, another 5-1 game. Man, Panthers fans, you got to be feeling yourselves. Wow. What the hell's going on? That's a terrible giveaway, by the way. What is Morrow doing? What the hell is he doing? Watch. What are you doing? You're firing it up center ice? Dude, did you play House League? Everybody is taught not to do that. Hawks23 says that's one heck of a pecker there. Thank you. First time I've been told that. Ohm says, how bad is it that the Carolina team made the East Finals? This Florida team is going to dominate the East for so many years. They are. They totally are. It's a new monster rising in the East. Man, it's painful watching this. Again, this should have been a first-round matchup. Giggling Cat. 2. Not 2, Giggling Cat. Orlov has been on the ice for 0 goals for and 10 goals against in this series? You can't play this guy. Like, I know Chatfield's not playing yet, but, like, you can't play this guy. He's getting eaten alive. He's getting crushed. And you're hearing the Panthers fans yelling, "We want the cup." Yeah, no kidding. You might just get it. I don't even know how Edmonton or Dallas stopped this. Svechnikov with a little tip there, tip wide. I don't think that was going fast enough for Bob not to see it. Guys, this period started 1-1. Here comes Marchand, and he scores. It's 6-1. Are you friggin'... Guys, 5 goals in 10 minutes. Gostisbehere got burned there. Like, this is crazy. This has been the best game Carolina has played, and they're down 6-1. This has been the best goalieing they've had. This has been the best defense they've had. This is the most shots on net they've had. This is the most high-danger scoring opportunities they have. And Florida's winning 6-1. Like, what do you even do, man? And Kochetkov hung out to dry on that one. Supernova Maine. Oh, wait, Giggling Cat. Did you drop another one? No, you didn't. Supernova Maine. Freddie boys, the Fed Piotr to the Freddie blows. They fed Piotr to the Crows. Canes EFC woes. Cats in 4. That was a lot to untangle, but I got through it. Zach says Canes can't win an Eastern Conference game because Canes fans care too much or something. You know what? Yeah, I respect Rod Brindamore calling a timeout here. He's like, boys, we gotta do something right here. I think Rod Brindamore is just saying to them, guys, like, you're not even playing hockey anymore. Like, forget playing our game. You're not playing, period. Look at... Oh, by the way, that might have been offside. Look, Gostisbehere does not position himself well there. You got to stay in the middle of that. You can't be diving down that early. 2,000 people in the viewing the Carolina Hurricanes meltdown. Guys, the only thing I want to ask you is, can you drop a little likey? Drop a little likey. It's free. JC says, how nice of Ghost to score for his hometown team. Terrible. Florida and Toronto should have been the Eastern Conference Final. Oh, man, we got Aho in a... It's a one-sided fight, and Tkachuk is literally just taking it to him. Because you know what? You're up 6-1. Who cares anyway? Aho took out Reinhart. Panthers are still pissed about it. Reinhart was walking around without a brace before the game. There's Bennett on top of, it looks like, Jackson Blake. I can't tell, but the blonde hair, I think it might be Jackson Blake. You know what's going to be interesting? Yeah, it's Jackson Blake. Yo, I know Brent Burns is old, but he's huge. Can he be more physical? Is this a thing that Brent Burns just doesn't do? You need that from him, man. You need that from him. Go be a vet. Watch medicine. Florida, Toronto should have been the ECF. The Panthers are the Leafs' daddy. Maple Leafs are the second best team in the East. And, yo, you know what's hilarious about this series is Leaf fans are actually going, see, some Leaf fans are actually going, see, we're not that bad. We should run it back. To which I say, hi, we're trying to win the cup. You got to beat the best teams to win the cup. So if Florida's the best team, you still have to beat them. That's why you don't run it back. You make changes. Matt Wilkins, stop. He's already dead. Yeah, seriously. Stop. He's already dead. Jake Nye, how does Rod keep his job after this, rebuild or not? It's so bad. Like, you cannot tell me this doesn't mean you clean out the front office. Well, they just put Eric Tulsky in there. Rod's under contract, so Tom Dundon's not about to be like, yeah, I'm going to pay a guy to sit. But I did ask the question afterwards, listen, would this series be different if Carolina had just hung on to Mikko Rantanen? You know, like, Mikko Rantanen has like 22, 23 points in these playoffs. That'd have been helpful in this series, huh? I don't know if they'd be winning, but it'd be helpful. They're going to have opportunities to do big things. Maybe they get Marner, maybe they whatever. But like, I don't think that they're that close to the Panthers. Like, it's not even like they need their first line to be better. Their first line is not generating anything. So where do you even start with the Hurricanes versus a team like the Panthers? Forget the second line and the third line, and I think I don't think Stahl can come back. You can't have Stahl be your third line center, not after how he looks in this series. Ohm says, don't write off McDavid and Draisaitl if they make the final. Oh, I won't. I won't write off the Dallas Stars either, but I'm telling you. He said, yeah, Marchand said, look up at the score. Oh. Wow. Marchand is what a playoffs he's having. My friend just got back from the Galapagos Islands. She got me blue-footed booby socks. Just saying, you're in the minority. You know what, Heather? Fair enough, but also not interested. Not interested. Sedin Magic 15. Who the hell did the Canes start on Monday? Not that any of this is Kachekov's fault, because it's absolutely not. I think you start Kachekov. Rennet Mom says, didn't you know Maurice was going to say it was close? Yeah, Paul Maurice better say this was close. Otherwise, I'm going to kick his ass. Matthew Ree, should there be a mercy rule? In this case, perhaps they should be a mercy rule for the series. Oh, hey, Carolina scored on the power play. Seth Jarvis gets a goal. Good for them. That's the second time this series they've gotten 2 goals in a game. They've scored 4 goals this series. The Panthers have scored 5 goals this period. Just if you're looking for something to compare it to. Michael Bagnall says, Panthers, wagon. Adam Naclerio says, where was that timeout 5 minutes ago? Right? I mean, they scored. Swag Poppy says, as a Toronto fan, how does it feel to be so MFR? It sucks. Straight up, it sucks. It must be nice. I can't imagine. Drowsy Dan, so we watched the Eastern Conference Final in the second round, eh? Yeah, I think we did. I think the 2 best teams were the Leafs and the Panthers. And I think the Panthers were the better team. And I think they're clearly the better team here, and they might score again. Greer almost scored. Puck goes out to the point. It gets tipped wide. Sedin Magic 15. I already answered that one. I'm trying to make sure I get to all the super chats. Rusty Mitchell, as a Leaf fan, this does not make it any better. I agree. I think it makes it worse. Handsome Dan's Vacation Rentals. I have it on good authority that the Panthers listen to Katy Perry's Roar before each game, and Megan Trainor's all about that bass during intermission. Put some damn respect on it. I don't know. Is it the songs they listen to, or is it because they're all complete psychopaths who are afraid of nobody and they're good at hockey? Who's to know? I'm just going back up to make sure. Just a Jersey boy, any laptop with a dedicated GPU or AMD in the last 5 years can easily handle that game. Don't worry with crazy mods. Look up Empire of War Thrawn's Revenge mod. You will freak out. Oh my God. Peabody Hamburger says it's so Brenda Mover right now. That's funny. It's Brenda Mover. That could be taken a few different ways. The Canes need beef from Sedin Magic 15. Boy, oh boy. Handsome Dan says Panthers going back to back, baby. 742. This is crazy. Echo Charlie, Adam, what realistic trade could the Leafs have made to actually have beat the Panthers this year? Matthew Nyes for Mikko Rantanen. That was on the table. Leafs said no. Next question. Metro Division is ass cheeks. It's still the Metropolitan, and I won't hear otherwise. Watch Medicine. Panthers are 28-8 in their last 6 games, and the Cats were shut out in one of them. Well, there you go. And I guess 28-8, I'm assuming, is goals for, because they're killing it. Rogue Volpe says, getting sick satisfaction from this as a Caps fan. Yeah, I bet. Canes roughed up the Caps. And not like physically, just beat them handily. Hayden is impressed with me because I just hit every super chat. Guys, I do what I can. Didn't miss a single one. That's a first. 7:07 left in the third period, mercifully for the Canes. Only 7 minutes till they get to go back to their hotel room in Florida and feel sad. Aaliyah T called that an Adam W. Ha ha. Woo. People in the chat saying, hey, wait a second. This doesn't make the Caps look better. It makes them look worse. I just think Florida's that good, man. This is a team that finished third in its division. They did not care. Hayden thinks the Caps would have won a game in this series. I think you're probably right. Tom Wilson also probably gets a little bit more activated in this series. But this does make the Caps look bad. Alex Mercer, Adam, how is it possible for Florida to be this good? Simple. They use analytics to find good players. They have a good coach. They have a good general manager, a very good general manager. And they built this team brick by brick. It took time. It took a lot of smart moves. They didn't rush anything. And look at them now. They picked up a bunch of guys that didn't work out elsewhere. Evan Rodriguez is a perfect example of that. Think of what they traded to get Sam Reinhart. They got Gus Forsling off waivers from Carolina for nothing. They got Luster-Reinen in the Trocheck trade. Like, they did all the things right. They took a bold step in trading their record-setting, one of the greatest players of all time, Jonathan Huberdeau, one of the Florida Panthers' greatest players of all time. They traded Huberdeau and Mackenzie Weegar, who is a great defenseman, for Matthew Tkachuk. That was a risk at the time. People were like, shit, Flames did well. Oh, man. Watch Medicine says, what the Panthers are doing to the Canes is considered illegal in 45 states, endangering a minor. NHL team version. True. Silent Rob 1192 says, the thoughts and the feeling merch when. Yeah, I know. Tyler Durden says, Monday's STP title, Fraud Brendamore. Okay, is Rod Brendamore to blame here? I mean, he has to share blame, but I'm like, is he the biggest problem? Here's the thing. The Canes go up against the Panthers, and they're small. Am I saying run it back for the Canes? No, I'm saying take advantage of the trade capital you have. Add to this team. Go be insane and go pay Mitch Marner whatever the hell he wants. Bring him in. Bring in somebody else too. You need better defense, dude. I know you play good team defense, but like when Jalen Chatfield going down, no disrespect to Jalen Chatfield, he's a good defenseman. Jalen Chatfield going down should not have this much of an effect on your team. Brent Burns is out there at 38 years old, big as hell, and non-factor physically. Non-factor. You need to get meaner. Welcome to the Eastern Conference, man. You got to get meaner. Panthers play good defense, but they're mean. Hammer 47, is the Leafs front office deciding to run it back now? They're not going to be able to run it back. Marner's not coming back. They're making changes. Timothy Ostrander, at this rate, the Leafs-Panthers series was like the Wings-Avs 2002 Western Conference Final in that the winner was decided at the end of the series. The Leafs beat Kane Stars Oilers if they win Game 7. I don't think that's totally true. I think the Leafs probably would have beat the Canes pretty well. I don't think that I think that Florida's going to have their hands full with the Stars or the Oilers. Like, I really do. I think those are the three best teams in these playoffs. I don't know what kind of hands full they're going to have. But, guys, the Oilers took them to Game 7 last year. They could have won. And Dallas is really, really, really good and better goaltending. I don't know. Supernova Main, feel like Brendamore's not a sweep comments dialed the Panthers in on them. Perhaps. And that's 2 years old, but if you're an athlete, you got to be insane. And got to be like, yeah, he insulted us 2 years ago. We're going to go get him again. Mr. Cosmic, thoughts on if it was Carolina and Toronto, how different would it be? Well, Toronto, you can guarantee this era of the Toronto Maple Leafs would have had at least one game where they were like, we don't feel like playing hockey tonight. They did it against the Senators. Game 5 against the Senators. Embarrassing. Game 5 and 7 versus the Panthers. Embarrassing. Why? Not because the Leafs aren't a good hockey team. Oh, here we go. Svechnikov and Bennett, is it? Well, you might as well get something in. Svech has been in the box a lot. Oh, Bennett just slapped him in the face. Just smacked him right in the face. Here's my fingers. Taste them. Wow. Yeah. So, Mr. Cosmic, to answer your question, thoughts on if it was Carolina or Toronto? I think it's a 5 or 6 game series, and I think Toronto wins. And I think Stolarz is probably playing by game 2 or 3. See, all Svechnikov can really do against Bennett is grapple. He's not going to fight him. Bennett's bigger. Bennett's going to big dog him. Like, they're getting bullied, man, and Rod knows it. And, like, when the Carolina Hurricanes won the Cup, they had guys like Eric Cole who were like battering rams. You need to get bigger. You need or bigger. What's bigger? You need to get guys who are mean. Canes are just getting bullied here, man. This is embarrassing. It's like they got their jersey pulled over their head, and now people are just giving them 5 stars, like slapping their back. It's crazy. Michael, Bob mode activated, better than Otter and Skinner. I guess. I don't think he's being tested. If you guys think that Bob being tested was against the Leafs. Especially the first 2-3 games the Leafs played against him, they tested him and he wasn't that good. Carolina might just get a penalty here. No, they're not going to call that. Carolina's obviously on the PK already, but Stahl, I think, tripped somebody and they thought it was going to go 5-on-3, but I don't think the refs are going to call that. Not in a 6-2 game. Martinuk and Jonah Gadjevich are now going at it. Jonah Gadjevich does not care if he takes a penalty. Like, what is Jonah Gadjevich even doing out there on the power play? That's how bad this is. They're like, you know what? We got a power play late in the third period. We're going to put our 4th line out there. Yuck, dude. That's almost as bad as the Panthers feeling sympathetic for the Leafs after the Leafs lost. Steven, you think Carolina will shop for a new goalie after this? Yeah, they need to. But the problem with Carolina is they're so stuck on this platoon thing. They signed Freddie Anderson already. So Freddie's back next year. And he's good for like 20 games, right? Because he's always injured. And they signed him after the second round, which they shouldn't have done. Should have waited. And, you know, they're going to go get somebody. If they were going to go get somebody, it would have been like Jake Allen. There aren't a lot of great free agent goalies available. Crazy big super chat from Canes 2000. Oh my God. Wow. Canes 2006. Sorry, Toronto fans. This pain is worse. Blow it up. Okay, but you have all the cap space and all these draft picks. They're going to be adding this offseason. They're too thin. They'll be better next year. They'll be better. They will. I promise you, Canes 2006. I promise. 4 minutes to go. We are 4-on-4. Gadjevich got a penalty there. I don't think he cares. I don't even think Florida cares if they get another shot the rest of this game. It's just going to be like, let's keep the puck away from them. There we go. Keeping the puck away from them. Those guys can't. Here, we drop the puck to you. We're going to get it back. By the way, Canes 2006, thank you for such a generous super chat. We really appreciate you. Nosek behind the net. He's going to get a shot. Tried to get it over to Boquist. Robinson clears it down. And it's an icing because it's 4-on-4. The Game Clown 93 says, I haven't seen the playoffs in 8 years. You don't know pain. Carolina Hurricanes do not know that pain. They do not know that pain. Hayden says someone on the Panthers should try a what? A lacrosse move? Oh, I don't know, man. I feel like if they did that, if the Panthers do anything, although, like, okay, again, you're right. The Panthers could do whatever they want because if it's a normal team, you do some, like, you start showboating when it's 6-2 and 3 minutes left to go. You do like a Michigan or something like that. You're going to get your teeth knocked out. But it's the Carolina Hurricanes. The Panthers are not afraid of them. Who on the Hurricanes is going to punch someone? No one. I'm curious to see what Rod Brendamore's thoughts are after this game. Like, what do you even say? This is rough. And it's like even the Panthers fans are quiet. They're like calm and relaxed. They're not even cheering. They're like, yeah, this is fine. Can the finals start tomorrow? We're waiting for the finals. And Carolina is on the power play for 5 seconds. And by the way, this will count as a full power play. I always love that in the power play stats. It's like, hey, that power play, hey, I didn't score on that 5-second power play. Yep, you're 0 for 1. We should reconsider this. 2:02 left in the third. Mercy for the Hurricanes. Canes 2006, another generous super chat. Thank you. 0 for 15 in the Eastern Conference Final. If I'm not mistaken, all the coach of those teams are in this series. Yes, I believe was Paul Maurice the coach of the 2009 team? Laviolette was the coach of the 2006 team. Was Maurice back in 2009? Because I think he came back. He did 2 runs, didn't he? Paul Maurice. Let's see. Yes, he was. 2008, 2009. They had missed the playoffs. Or sorry, he had missed the playoffs with the Leafs. And then he got fired by the Leafs, goes immediately to Carolina and gets to the third round. A-hole. What a jerk. And they didn't win a game. So yeah, Paul Maurice. And Rod Brind'Amour, I believe, was on that team. Yes, he was. Rod Brind'Amour, who was how old at that time? 38. Had 51 points in 80 games that year. That's That's back when Tuomo Ruutu. I loved Tuomo Ruutu. I had a weird man crush on Tuomo Ruutu. I was convinced if Tuomo Ruutu ever became a Leaf, the Leafs would get back to winning. Hayden asks the real question, which is how old was Cliff Fletcher at that time? Probably still close to his 80s. I mean, he's in his 90s now, and that's 16 years ago. So yeah, late 70s, which is wild to think. 51 seconds to go. The Canes are about to go 0 for 15 in their last 15 Eastern Conference Final games. As a Leaf fan, I can't relate because I haven't seen an Eastern Conference Final since 2002. Panthers fans on their feet. They're pumped. Whoa. This is rough. This is a rough game. Remember, this period started 1-1. This period started 1-1. 1-1. And the Panthers scored 5. The Canes scored 1. In 3 games this series, the Carolina Hurricanes have 4 goals. Dmitry Orlov has been on the ice for 10 goals against, 0 goals for. The Carolina Hurricanes might have 1 game left in this season. The Panthers are so in control, it's crazy. And here's the crazy thing about the Panthers. You know what's nuts about the Panthers? They're not going to let up. They're just going to come at you and get crazy. If you're a Panthers fan, man, you must be feeling yourself right now. Let me throw something at you. Tomorrow, Dallas and Edmonton are playing at 3. Steve will be doing the Dallas and Edmonton watch along at 3 p.m. tomorrow on the SDPN YouTube channel, and that's Eastern Standard Time. So if you are in Mountain Time, that's 1 o'clock. If you are West Coast, it's noon. It's an early start. The live odds for this game are good and grief. Grief next to the Florida Panthers name is perfect because grief is what they cause you just by watching them and losing to them. Man, I just can't. Barkov is firing pucks at Marchand's skates. Marchand is so re-signing there. He's so re-signing there. He's not leaving, man. He's Jordan Belfort. I'm not leaving. Jake Kranitz says Florida spent 25 years in hell. We deserve it. That's true. If you were a fan of the team after, through that, you deserve this. Madlib says Maurice after the game, the pucks went our way tonight again. I'm gonna have to fly to Florida myself and just hit him in the face with a pie if he says that. Sedin Magic 15, Dmitry Orlov was a -4 tonight. He got burned, man. He got burned. Just terrible. Wow. My wife texted me and she said, just want to let you know I'm getting wild at home. Opening up my second Diet Coke. Oh, shit. Going home to a party. Guys, Florida fans, how we feeling? Canes fans, how we feeling? Max Bob, welcome to SDP VIP ad-free. Max Bob, you get SDP episodes earlier than everybody else. You get the VIP experience plus, which means, by the way, you get the 4th episode every week. Plus, Max Bob, you get yourself ad-free versions of the SDP. You don't have to worry about ads anymore. Hayden asked me a question. How many Carolina Hurricanes who dressed tonight finished not in the negative? So 18 skaters. I'm going to say 3. 5 of them. Everybody else is in the negative. Can I name any? All right. I'm going to say Eric Robertson, Mark Janikowski, Scott Morrow, and Jake Slavin. I got 2 of them. All right, who do we have? Jankowski, Slavin, Carrier, Blake, and Burns were the 5 guys who did not register a negative. All zeros. None of them are positive. Trevor Moore. I'm sure it's LA Kings legend Trevor Moore. What episode of VIP was about the girl who dated AI forgot about her? The AI. Okay, I don't remember what that was. You'll have to go back into the thing. But essentially, the story was that somebody was like falling in love with an uncensored version of ChatGPT. But every 50,000 or 100,000 lines, it would reset. And so it was like she was in a relationship with this ChatGPT, but then once she hit 100,000 of, I think it's like sentences, the thing was like, okay, I reset and I don't know anything anymore. And she was worried about who she would love after that. Yeah. Yeah, that's rough. Anyway, Matthew Brown, this core is blown up this offseason. Has to be. Matthew, I think they're just going to add to it. I don't think they need to blow it up. Like maybe they do, but I look at the Canes and I go, okay, you got a bunch of cap room. You got a bunch of draft picks to trade. You're going to have to go make some moves. So go make some moves. You know what would be sick? Call Vancouver and say, can we get Quinn Hughes? Wow. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. By the way, thank you to everybody who's helping me hopefully run Star Wars Empire at War. Because, God, I'd love to play that game again. I'm going to have to look into a cheap laptop. What can I buy a cheap-ass laptop for? Jalen says, what Carolina core? Their caramel center core? It's pretty funny. I'll give you that. Oh, Jose Pantalones dropping sweeps in the chat. Justin Curry says the Oilers need to win the cup just for the sake of humanity. It's crazy. The Barky Bark super chat? Is there a Barky Bark super chat? No. Prince of Wales trophy, Prince of Florida trophy. It is. It is. Eight of the last 10 Eastern Conference finals have featured a team from Florida. Really and truly, Florida's winning a lot. Yuck. Just yuck. As a Leaf fan, I have to say that. Okay, guys, so here's the deal. It's Saturday night. I'm going to go home and have a sleep because I'm tired. But I love you all. And thank you for joining. And remember, Steve Dangle tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, Dallas, Edmonton. That's 1 p.m. Mountain Time, noon Western. And yeah, they're just showing on Hockey Night in Canada. They're showing Kachuk just beating the crap out of Aho and the Canes doing nothing about it. Yo, the Canes are so soft. Anyway, guys, listen. I'm going to be back Monday night. We're going to do this stream again. It might be my last game stream of the year. If the Panthers sweep, that might be it for me. Now, I'll still do streams, but I'll be doing non-games. I'll do like video games or something like that. So anyway, listen, love you all. Thank you for joining me. Thank you to Justin and to Hayden for hanging out. And we will see you Monday. Have a good night.